comes down to this, a Grand Slam decider here at the Allianz, England taking on France. It's been the talk of the town. It's been the talk of the BBC.
Good morning, how are you? This is Scott Mills on BBC Radio 2, and you know it's a big day. It's the final round of the Women's Six Nations. Come on, England!
And the last game of the day is the highly anticipated
England versus France.
Now, it's nicknamed Le Crunch, not because of the food, but because of the tackles. They create the perfect crunch.
Sport isn't a matter of life or death.
But when England click, France might need more than a doctor.
I tell you what, I can't wait for the finale of the Women's Six Nations. I think that Meg Jones is going to have a blinder today.
Tatiana Heard. So if England win this game, it would be their 7th Six Nations in a row.
Well, all I can say is bonne chance, France.
The game's at West London. They can't watch it at home instead.
Hanging out on your sofa is not a bad place to be this afternoon, but Twickenham is absolutely buzzing because 5 weeks of back and forth in the Guinness Women's Six Nations, and it all comes down to this. Each year, the popularity of this great tournament grows with swarms of fans turning up to support their heroes. The Rugby World Cup party comes to town here in England later this year, but for today, there's a Grand Slam to be decided. Indeed, there is. Welcome to the Allianz Stadium in Twickenham for this decider between England and France. Can the Red Roses win their 7th consecutive Six Nations title, or will France lift the trophy for the first time since 2018? Let's remind you how the table stands. And the match at the Hive between Scotland and Ireland is in the dying moments, and it's 19-all there. So we can't update the table for you just yet. And of course, tomorrow, because of the Pope's funeral, the match between Italy and Wales has moved to Sunday, 11:30 kickoff there. But here, as we know, we will crown the winner of the 2025 Women's Six Nations. England-France kicks off in just under 30 minutes. And we have come fully loaded for this one. 2 World Cup winners in Katie Daly-McLean and Maggie Alfonsi, and a man who knows how to win this trophy. Simon Middleton did it as head coach of the Red Roses 6 times. Guys, it's a big one, this. It's always a huge match, but is there a sense that France are getting closer to England for you, Maggie? We want some jeopardy here today. England have been so dominant. Are they going to push them?
We definitely want jeopardy, but I would say the gap between the two teams has slightly widened just because the rate of progression for France has been quite slow. And I would say there's 2 reasons because of that. They've had lack of inconsistency. They haven't really kept the same selection. And also there's been a focus on sevens. So they've chopped and changed players and they haven't been able to build up that experience, that depth like England. But they are a team that have nothing to lose and will want to test England in this big crowd.
There have been chopping and changes going on all the time, haven't there, for John Mitchell? Another 9 today. We'll get into the detail of that. But how was it for you, Simon, when you were making those big calls?
Oh, I loved it. I loved the selection process. You know, you mapped out a certain amount of games, as John's done, and then you come to the big game, this one, and just going through the selection process, sitting down, talking through your coaches, what you need, what the game needs, and being really respectful of how big a game it is for the individual players.
Perhaps Maggie doesn't think that they're getting closer, but we have had some moments of jeopardy for England, haven't we? That first half in Ireland, in Cork, where there was only 2 points in it at half-time. We've seen Italy push France right down to the 78th minute as well. Could there be today, do you think, moments where England just look a bit vulnerable?
I think jeopardy probably for me is a bit strong. I don't think England win is in doubt here today. I think what we should get is a better quality of rugby. Yes, we know France can probably be a bit loose, but they also have a pack. And I think probably the only team in Six Nations that can compete with England's pack, and they also have a decent bench. So I expect France to be in this game for at least 60 minutes today.
Okay, well, as has become tradition here at Twickenham for these final matches in the Women's Six Nations, there's always brilliant half-time entertainment. And today, it's the Rizzle Kicks. And another tradition that's developed is that Sonia McLaughlin gets to incisively interview them ahead of the match.
Well, this time last year, it was Sophie Ellis-Bextor's Murder on the Dance Floor. That was the banger we were all enjoying at Twickenham. This year, it'll probably be down with the trumpets because it's the Rizzle Kicks. Harley and Jordan, welcome to you both. What are your first impressions of Twickenham?
Big stadium, many seats.
I mean, I've been here before, so it's actually a second impression, but not under these circumstances. It's very big. It's very echoey.
Am I right in thinking you said Sophia Ellis-Bextor Murder on the Dance Floor last year, half-time show? It's going to be hard to top that, I can't lie. It's going to be hard.
Look, I know the second time you two met, you were busy playing football, weren't you? Have you ever picked up a rugby ball?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I played for my school team. I was a winger.
I was a winger.
Who was fastest?
Who was faster?
You know, you can say you're faster.
I reckon I was faster, yeah. I was
Harley is, in spite of our new album title, Harley is obsessed with winning races.
I'm going to mention that to you. Just before I do.
You fancy a sprint off against Harley?
No, absolutely not. Before I mention that, I mean, when players first step onto this pitch, they always remember that.
Yeah, I bet.
When you brought out your first single, you were really, really young. What were your memories of it?
The single itself, I don't have that many memories. I can remember hearing the chart position get announced. We entered into the charts in July 2011 at 144 and ended up at 8. That was a surreal moment. But there was a moment when we performed at a big arena and we saw a light go across the crowd and everyone was on their feet jumping, and that was the first moment it really hit for me anyway.
Yeah, and I need to mention you're back with a new album called Competitioners for Losers. Are you aware? You might need to explain that title given where you're standing, but we haven't got time. It's really good to see you both and can't wait for half-time. Thanks very much.
Come on. Woo! Thank you.
Well, we're very much looking forward to their half-time performance out on the field, and that's exactly where we're heading now, because Katie Daly-McLean has left our studio to give us an insight into the warm-up. So take it away, Katie.
So I'll tell you a little secret. I used to hate warm-up as a player. You know, I'd much rather just come out, get a ball and get playing. But now the girls do so much prep. You know, they will have done a little bit inside, a little bit of physical prep, so you're stretching, and then they come out and they'll work through a nice little order. Your skillful players, that I would class them as skillful, your kickers will come out, they'll do a bit of goal kicking. But it's not about doing over reps, it's just about little moments. So making sure the wind hasn't changed. Things from when you did the team run yesterday, what the difference is. Is the ground a bit softer? Has it been watered? You think about your forwards, you know, the Alex Matthews, the physical, powerful girls. They'll spend a lot more time in that physical prep, getting their body ready, A-skips, running drills, lots of those little moments. And we just watch England now, they'll go through their handling drills. You think all those little moments that we see England being so dominant, forwards, backs, all intermingling, offloading, all the little skill sets that we know are really, really important to England being dominant today. They'll just do little moments. And I think for me, it's what England have gone so well. Their warm-up really preps them and gets them ready for this game.
Thank you very much, Katie. I don't think Katie will be the only professional sports person who doesn't enjoy the warm-up. They just want to get on with it, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to start with the French team news. Here's Sonia McLaughlin.
Well, the Women's Six Nations title has eluded France for 7 years. So I wonder if this team out there warming up now could be the one that finally reclaims the crown. Well, the women's team, inspired by both the men and the under-20s who won their respective Six Nations titles, looking to make it a hat-trick for the French. They'll have to do it without a couple of key flankers, though. Romain Managère started last week against Italy, but misses out with concussion and is replaced by Charlotte Escudero. Rising star Seraphine Akemba is out too. She's been ever present since making her debut last autumn, and that mantle instead falls to Leah Champon, who starts for the first time in this Six Nations campaign. One other change sees Kelly Arbey on the left wing for Emily Boulard in a France side with just 373 caps compared to England, who have 682.
Thank you very much, Sonia. You've had to play against the French attack many, many times. What have you made of its evolution over the years?
To be honest, I'm not absolutely sure if it has evolved that much. It's, for me, it's like the definition of insanity is the French attack, because they do the same thing over and over again year on year and expect a different result, and they're just not getting it at the moment. So you just look at that, it's a real high risk that they play. They put some great stuff together and then they'll just force an unbelievably sort of high risk offload, or they're a little bit sloppy with their skills. This typifies it like no other clip can. The 3 unbelievable offloads. They've got the momentum. Now what they need is to be scanning where the space is and attacking. But what they do is they go for another sort of strip ball and move it forward, then they try and force a pass, and then a pass between your legs, which goes, it goes into touch, but it could have been an interception or anything. But when France actually simplify their game, which they have done at times, and this is when they've looked their best in the Six Nations, they've got an unbelievably powerful pack, and they're playing through the middle of teams. So here they're just punching, and then as soon as they're short on the defensive lineup, they move and they get the backs into play.
And this, for me, is where they've got to go after England, isn't it? You're going to have to be dominant. You're going to have to respect possession. You're going to have to get your big girls carrying through the middle of England.
They just don't seem to like going route one, do they? Maggie, let's talk a little bit about their defence. England are strong in many areas. Where can they exploit France's defence?
So for me, I do think England can target France's line-out defence, because France concede most of their tries at the line-out. It's because France stay down and don't compete at the line-out when they're in their own 22. So they're really vulnerable at the back to the rolling maul. But if you look here, Ireland were really smart to it. They use the back peel. So Aoife Wafer, she works really hard to attack that space, and it's hard to stop. But France are very good at holding players up over the try line. So they have this strategy where they throw two players in and they do that soak-up tackle. And against Italy, they held up the ball 3 times. So England need to be wary of this, but their big focus is to try and make sure they maul against them and use that back peel.
I asked you one player to look out for you two, and you said the same person, Pauline Bourdon-Sansus. Maggie, what is it that makes her so electrifying?
I mean, she's one player I have to say is world class. She is central to the way France attack. And if you watch here, watch her running lines. She gets used on this wraparound line, which enables France to be able to attack those wide channels and again, just free up their wingers. If you watch in this next clip, she does it again. It's very much around wrapping around, creating the overlap, and then spotting those spaces out wide to attack in it. But when we talk about Pauline, what she's really good at is the quick tap and then trying to spot those opportunities. But Katie, you think she's also a very good player as well?
I think she's France's smartest player. Like, obviously Simon alluded to France being loose, but for me, she's the one that has her head screwed on. She plays in behind, she keeps them ticking. She's a very, very good player.
She's the heartbeat of the side, isn't she? Absolute heartbeat of the side.
OK, let's have a little look then at the players who are going to have to stop Pauline today. Here's the team news for England with Sonia.
Well, these England fans might be a bit disappointed that there's no Ellie Kildunn today, because they've all got their cowboy hats on, or cowgirl hats on. She's got a minor hamstring strain, and England are taking no chances. It's a big day then for Emma Singh, who'll wear the number 15 jersey. It's only her 3rd test, but John Mitchell has faith, calling her world class. Elsewhere in the backs, Claudia McDonald's eye-catching performance against Scotland means she holds off Jess Breach for the left wing slot, while Zoe Harrison and Mo Hunt return at half-back. It's about power in a back row shuffle, with England looking to target France at the set piece. Maddie Farinati starts for the first time at open side flanker, getting the nod over Sadia Kabir, with Marley Packer missing out. It's a strong Red Roses lineup, and one you'd imagine being pretty similar should England make the World Cup final here on September the 27th.
Well, Sonia, the man who made that selection, I might ask him the question whether or not it would be the lineup that would face a World Cup final. Sonia's saying that team she thinks your strongest team. You said you had to sit down on Easter Monday, you told us last week, with a pot of tea. We all imagined you in your home with lots of post-it notes, maybe some VTs as well. How was that process, picking this 15 to start?
I think I had about 5 cups of tea, 5 positions that were obviously contentious, but really looked at how we need to play against France today, and a lot of the decisions came down to who's most consistent in the skill sets that we need.
And John, I'd love to know about your back row selection. Maddie Farinati's in at 7. You've got no out-and-out number 7 on the bench. What was your thinking behind that?
Yeah, we'll see 7 has obviously got to follow the ball, but you'll see us probably tighten up France a bit at line-out time as we get close in the attacking half. Bigger length line-outs, and you'll see Maddie and Abby Burton probably coming out of that maul, attacking them tightening them, and then we'll probably try and get that quick and go to the edge.
John, you've got big players like Sadia Kabir and Marley Packer left out today from this here, which is a huge occasion, the denouement of this tournament. How do they deal with that? Because all players must be getting a bit nervy about the World Cup.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's pretty certain who's going to be around. We've created healthy competition. It's just creating a demand on everyone to be consistent in what they deliver, and every girl's doing that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I've made a tactical decision. I have to make the hard decisions, but these girls haven't finished yet. They haven't gone away. They'll continue to fight.
Just a quick one from me, John. Giving you selection on the bench. Who covers the wing?
Who covers the wing? Helena will be covering wing, yeah.
Cool. Yep.
John, shall we let you go and prepare for this one, your final moments, and we'll have a chat with you afterwards. Best of luck.
Yeah, well, attacking defence wins titles, so see what we get. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John. Nine changes again today. Were you happy with that answer, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, look, I do think you'd need a 7 who can poach around the field, and a Marley Packer or Sadia would have been ideal, but actually Fanati's been absolutely outstanding and has really set up to that. And I think generally their forward pack has been very good, and especially when we talk about the way England have dominated at the scrum, they've just been outstanding generally throughout this tournament. So when we think about, look what they've done, look, they've got this amazing secondary drive, which is really powerful. They did it here against Scotland, and they repeat it again against Wales. But here in this example, you've just got to watch. England sometimes need to work on controlling it because their back row are so focused in on the drive and they leave a space out wide, and Wales are really smart. A bit like France, will attack that blind side, so they just need to stay alive to that at all times. But England have this amazing dominance in their power of their forwards. So when England get into the 22, they're very good at setting up this 2-pod system. So they have players come around, recycle, and they just keep working down, grinding down the opposition back line until the opportunities come up. I've talked about this before previously, they have a really good short game, so they do like to use that tip on, and Sarah Byrne obviously a good example. When she comes off the bench, she will have an impact in that area. But Fanati, as John's already highlighted, will be key today. She's really good at the breaking off the back of a line out when she spots those gaps. But one player I'm very excited about seeing, particularly with our forwards, is Zoe Aldcroft. You know, captain fantastic. She's been brilliant this whole tournament, but not just her. Many of the England forwards are very good at just breaking the tackles and just backing themselves, and I think they're going to need to do it today because it will be a very physical game.
This crowd love Ellie Kildun. She is a crowd pleaser, isn't she? But she's missing today, a hamstring strain, and it is the turn of course she's here though in the stadium, it is the turn of Emma Singh to see if she can put her hand up for a place in this team.
Look, she's World Player of the Year, and as we've seen throughout the tournament, we know why. I think what's super interesting is Emma Singh went really well against Italy. If anything, she's probably been unlucky not to have more minutes in this Six Nations. But this is a huge opportunity, you know. You don't get many times to come to Twickenham and play well, and this is what Emma Singh has to do. She's got a big opportunity to say, look, if Ellie's not fit, pick me, I can deliver.
Because this is the last time they're going to be here before the World Cup, the last big occasion. And if there's one thing we know, they don't concede many points, do they?
No.
29 through the whole tournament so far. Why are England so difficult to score against?
Yeah, we've talked about their attack a lot, but in terms of their defence, you know, they're so resilient, they're so aggressive in defence. You know, they've changed their system around this year. They've gone to an upper in defence, which really relies on really good relationships on the edge, where your fullback comes in on the edge, where your winger works with your centre on the inside. You can see Jones and Dow. So Jones comes up really hard. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to stop the ball before it gets to the edges. The risk is they get the ball over the top, and that's exactly what happens here. So Dow comes in, makes a read, doesn't quite get it, but they're okay with that because they work really hard from the inside. Jones covers from the inside. Aitchison's coming up from fullback, so they're flooding that channel. And then if you watch Packer here, she steps in. This is Lucy Packer, the scrum half. It's all about pressure is their game. So now she's pressuring the kicker, and this has been a massive feature of their game. Every time there's an opportunity, they're getting after the kicker. They're trying to put the kicker under pressure, trying to get a charge down, trying to force a poor kick, trying to force a short kick. So there's a couple of instances here, and you know it's just pressure on pressure. And again, just here you can see how the wings are working. The opportunity for France is to get to the edges, as Scotland did here. But again, England worked so hard, and one of the benefits of having an aggressive defence is exactly how we saw against Scotland. We Zoe Aldcroft getting an interception, and they're just aggressive all over the field. So we've talked about their line speed, but here it's in the contact area, a massive double tackle, and then they spot that there's a weakness in the ruck, and they just attack the ruck and counter ruck off. So they're just super aggressive.
They really are. And one of the big names who is always first on the team sheet for the big games is inside centre Tatiana Hurd. Now, when the players go out on the pitch pre-match and they have their last moments to kind of really take in their own thoughts, they have their headphones in. You often wonder, what are they listening to? Well, Tatiana's choice of song might surprise you.
What do I always listen to? Rumble, you know, Skrillex. Seven Nation Army. They're my classics, really. I also listen to Time to Say Goodbye, but don't put that on. It's like opera. Yeah. Before a game, I'm like really hyped up, and then that just makes me like settle in, and then I'm ready to go.
Little kick through, who's going to be on the end of it? It's gathered in the end by Hurd. Tatiana Hurd is over, she's smiling.
I definitely try and play with freedom and just play what you see, and Mitch alludes to it a lot, is about like just doing rather than trying to think too much. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of freedom here, and it's great that that comes out in some moments in games, so we just hope it keeps coming.
World class, that's the only words for it. World class.
I've had 3 ACL reconstructions. That was something that really hit me hard, to miss out on the day-to-day stuff as well. Like obviously everybody wants to be playing in the games, but you can't always get selected, but what you can do is put your best foot forward when you're in camp, and to not be around the girls, to not be in an elite environment is really, really tough. So I definitely learned the hard way, I think, in that respect, but I've had so many lessons, and it's definitely improved me as a person and as a player, the way that I try and go about everything that I do here in terms of like physical prep, mental prep, like everything that I do now I think has been shaped by having injuries and having worse experiences. And yeah, I think now I'm in a pretty good place and pretty grateful to be here. I've got to get through the Six Nations and try and perform, and all of that stuff comes with being in the moment. And as Mitch speaks about, he says be where your feet are, and I think that's a really great place to try and be. I know it's easier said than done, but yeah, I just try and live in the moment so that I can appreciate this now. And obviously with it being a World Cup year, it's so exciting for the game, so exciting for all the girls, but yeah, you just can't take it for granted and assume that it's going to happen for you. So for me, I'm just trying to go with the flow. And I'm not very easygoing either, so it's quite hard to do.
In what sense?
I'm just a bit uptight, very particular, like things how I like them. That's me, yeah.
Well, it's a huge result for England. It will be a Grand Slam decider with France.
It's really exciting that this game that's coming up is against France, because they're obviously a really competitive side, really, really physical. We try and be very physical as well, so yeah, it's just great matchups across the board, and to have teams that are going to challenge us throughout the whole game, across the whole 80 minutes, that's a really exciting place to be.
Well, Maggie and I have moved to the mouth of the tunnel. The players are lining up there. This is what they're coming out for. These are the final moments, Maggie, where the players have a little bit of calm before they come into the cauldron. Talk us through what is going on in the mind of a player.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I used to do is I wouldn't talk. I would just focus on the opposition. I would look at the opposition. I would psych them out. I would win that mental battle. But then at the same time, what I'll be thinking about is what am I going to do in that first part of the game? My big tackle, my big pass. But I love that, and this is why the tunnel's so good, because you get the chance to really get into it.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Let's join our commentary team now. Brian Moore, Katie Daly-McLean, and of course, Sarah Orchard. A very good afternoon.
Here we go. Both sides waiting to process out past the trophy. France have beaten England in this stadium before, but as with many French victories over this Red Roses outfit, memories are starting to fade. Of course, the next time a women's test match will be played here, it's the Rugby World Cup final. Today, though, it's a Six Nations Grand Slam decider. That trophy up for grabs. A culmination of 6 weeks of sparkling rugby. And once again, these two sides will clash once again. Now, we've got 10 mascots running out at HQ today. 9 of them are aged from 7 to 12. They're from rugby clubs up and down the country. And if you look very closely amongst them, you might spot a slightly smaller one. Abby Ward is walking out with her daughter, Hallie. She's not quite 2 years old yet, but she does have that big birthday coming up in the summer. How proud is she of her mummy? Well, the occasion, of course, really building here. Good rugby conditions today. Some formalities for us, though, still to complete. We do, of course, have the anthems. And first up, it will be La Marseillaise. As the Allianz Stadium prepares, it is time for us to take a look at the runners and riders for today's fixture, starting off with John Mitchell's England lineup. Well, he's made 9 changes to the starting 15, 5 in the forwards, 1 is positional. Bottoman and Muir start again in the front row. Sales Moena Tallinn coming in at lock, with Alex Matthews starting at 8, pushing Maddie Fairnarty into a first start wearing 7. Into the backs, where the much-highlighted 8th cap of Emma Singh at fullback is well recognised. Well, the halfback combination of Natasha Hunt and Zoe Harrison return, as does the Gloucester Heartbreed Tatiana Hurd at 12. Well, we move on to France next, where the head coaching duo of Gaël Mignon and David Ortiz make 4 changes. In the forwards, it's all about the flankers. Toulouse's Charlotte Escudero, she comes in to start on the blind side, while at 7, it's Léa Champon of Grenoble, making her first Six Nations start. Of course, Captain Menea Fellow continues in the second row. In the backs, Joanna Grise has swapped wings after she made her first appearance of the championship last week against Italy, coming back from injury.
Still probably at least a minute.
Moving on to the benches, do keep an eye out for a debut. It's for 20-year-old French woman Taina Maka of Grenoble. Now, with France, once again, they go for that 6-2 split of forwards and backs, so she gets her chance. Well, you can see it is quite smoky here at the moment, as we see our referee is New Zealand's Maggie Cogger-Orr. And plenty of eyes, of course, will also be focused across the pitch. We've talked a lot about Emma Singh and the build-up to this fixture, but alongside me, a very good afternoon to former England hooker Brian Moyle. Is it more with hope or expectation that France are turning up today?
Well, I hope it's only with hope, but the belief should be expectation. I imagine there's 2 things here for France: how their halfbacks kick, whether they can get into the kicking game, and how their forwards carry.
Right then, this is the Grand Slam decider. England wanting to set the standard for the rest of the world to follow in 2025. France wanting to show they can still mix it with the best. We're underway in southwest London. The Grand Slam decider is Aldcroft. The England skipper flies into the Twickenham sky and sets it up for her side.
White, hold here. Wait here.
Quite high from Harrison, not so much length on that. And Fellaeur, early nerves. And an early opportunity platform here for England just to do something there. Now there's 2 Fellaeurs out on the pitch. This is the younger Tayani of the 2 sisters, but she's been so impressive throughout this tournament, but this is a big stage.
It is, and not keeping her eyes on the ball there. Half an eye on the chasing player. Given England, England should look to dominate here. If they can get on the front foot, especially if they can push the right-hand side of the scrum up and expose the inside back to the French, then they're in business.
Set!
Well, that ball is out. There was an arm on that from Escudero, so it's a forced knock-on. Referee playing on the advantage now for England. Out wide to Dow.
Forward pass. Oh, sorry. No advantage, lost forward at the scrum. Just in the tackle at the scrum.
Oh, she's quite happy there was nothing in that one. So we come back and a little bit of deja vu. We get another scrum, Katie Daly-McLean.
Yeah,
on the 15.
We do. It's interesting, isn't it? I think
probably trying to tackle you.
Emma Singh there probably would have liked that to be a better pass to Abby Dow, you know, as your first touch. But France there, they definitely held England, Brian.
Well, they were very clever. They didn't actually go through with the drive. They just managed to wheel it very slightly, wheeled England back towards this near touchline. So they're having to pass across the scrum there, and of course the French back row there first. So clever by France.
As a front row now, when you get a second scrum so close to that moment, does this now change what you do next?
No, it should make you concentrate more on the tight end, actually. That's better.
All out cleaner for England this time. Jones. Singh. Hunt. Hurd. Ward.
Backwards.
To Muir. Referee said backwards. Harrison.
Happy with number 3?
Powering through from Bottoman,
Advantage,
the
number
Bristol
3.
prop, and we're playing advantage now for England.
Got advantage 9.
Atkin Davis. Hunt happy to flood this left channel for now. Atkin Davis looking for more work. Bristol hooker. Scoring last week against Scotland. Harrison, she can see space there. Who's going to be on the end of it? Dow needs the bounce of the ball. She's got it. Still Abby Dow, scoring again. Twickenham show their appreciation for Abby Dow. 5 tries now in this Six Nations, and England on the board early doors.
It's really well worked. If I'm honest, I thought England should have gone there a lot earlier. You know, France really flat. They've got penalty advantage. Not that it's a free ball, but it's a free opportunity. And just as this plays out, Meg Jones, Hannah Bottoman, great engagement. And Zoe Harrison, that is a beautiful touch. Abby Dow was nice and wide. She's in space. And look, if you're going to stop Abby Dow from there, you've got to go low. You can't get fend. There again, she's just split Menage there, and I think Vernier perfectly weighted. It couldn't sit up any nicer, and Abby Dow was always going to finish from that close.
Well, of course, France had got caught twice, hadn't they, on the outside. England got slightly round them. That time they numbered up better, but the fallout because of that is there a space behind it. It was well spotted.
Yeah, they've just gone really lateral, haven't they? They can't go forward, like you say, because they've got short, and it just gives... But it's such a well-weighted kick there, Brian, you know, the skill to be able to sit that, and then she gets the lovely little bounce. As we know, a rugby ball can bounce anywhere.
Well, France left it late last week to come back against Italy,
Backwards.
as we see the flying feet there of Joanna Grisset, helping France win that ball back, taken on this time by Kalfawi. This is better from the French. Bigot.
Tackle!
First real attack we've seen from them. They continue through the hands, but you can see how England are defending and pushing the French back already. Bourdon-Sansus looks up, decides to go down the line. Big handoff coming from Vernier, who's switching direction, doesn't want to be tackled. Just gets that ball away. Impressive stuff as Champon drives and straightens. The captain Feléo, Bigot now, Bourdon-Sansus. Wonderful stuff by the French. This is what they do, keep the ball alive. Kalfawi. Still falling forwards. More weight added to that. We've seen them do this all tournament. England should know this is what they do. Bigot. Comes back out towards the back. They've got numbers, but in the end they go on their own. Arbe scores. The fly half, who currently doesn't have a French contract, goes over the line.
Okay.
But was there an injury to Vernier in the build-up? Okay. She seems okay. They might check.
Look, if France are going to compete with England today, this is what we have to see from them. You saw Vernier get a head up early, wasn't anything on, comes back, and then once they get in behind, it's their offload. You see her here, she just comes back against the grain. Nice feet, beats Zoe Allcroft, lovely little offload, and then Chambon's in there. She's physical, she's fending, and then it's the best bits in there. Look, the job was done before Arbez goes over there. The forwards, Calafuri had gone so well, so direct, tightened England up, and it was an easy walk-in, but that is France at their best there.
it was, and they also started the series of forward drives and offloads from a pick that went straight through England.
Yeah.
Didn't go between guard and bodyguard, straight behind the ruck. Very difficult to defend.
Okay, which number? It's an HIA, so that's why they stopped me.
Well, they're saying
12.
there's an HIA. And it is for Gabrielle Vernier, who we did say take a knock.
Sorry, it is a head injury. That's why
in
I
the
stopped you.
build-up to that try, and she's a significant player for them.
She's huge, such an instrumental player. For me, Vernier provides that directness that sometimes France lack in their back line. She's also very, very smart rugby player, so they will be very much hoping that this HIA is just a formality and she comes back on the pitch.
Well, that was a big clattering from Tatiana Hurd. They're not checking it at the moment. And more interesting is that Bertin is coming on. Interesting how they rearrange themselves here, and who moves back into the centres. Bertin is there for now.
Use it.
France looking to exit then
Take him back.
as they lead for the
Wait
first
here.
time in this fixture.
Oh no.
Are they? Now that one's
Take him
straight out, and France had taken it in as well.
Got a mark, Maria?
So an early mistake there from the youngster.
Game management is going to be huge for France as well today, not giving England unnecessary opportunity here.
Yep.
See, it is outside the 22. That means balls has to bounce before it goes straight out.
No contest.
Did get a slice as
Outside
well
the
there,
15.
not a great kick.
Well, you heard there as Allcroft went up, no contest, so it doesn't matter if it's not straight. England can take that ball.
It's once now.
England
Get
have
out,
only lost
Luke.
one line out
Get
throughout
out.
this whole Six Nations, and this sort of version of a rugby group hug that is a
Send it
maul
out.
is trucking towards that line. Down the line it comes. Meg Jones pops up to Emerson, straightens, and that will mean the world to Emerson. Once again, the crowd on their feet. 3 tries. We haven't even played 10 minutes yet.
Well, you've got to love Meg Jones, haven't you? Great hands, great awareness of where she is. Only one opportunity. There you go.
Do you know what I love about her, Brian? I thought she'd missed the jump there, but she's seen, I think it's Bourgeois go high and go take a defender, so she has to hold the ball. She has to go in behind her. It's a really smart bit of rugby there from Meg Jones, not giving that ball early and letting defenders make big tackles. Great play.
And England getting it right in another sense. When you're driving forward in a maul, if you let it die, all your options go. If you can deliver it while you're going forward, everything opens up.
It's a great platform as a fly half there. You wanted that ball going forward. Stacey, such a great offload. She's beaten 3 defenders there by just waiting and being patient with that offload.
Emma Singh, so much pressure on her in the build-up to this fixture. Found out on Monday night when she was at Crochet Club she was playing. What else would you do on a Monday night? But that is what the England girls like doing. It's their hobby of choice in camp right now. Hunt.
Use it.
Given the warning.
Wait here,
Harrison.
White.
Comes back then to Bourgeois. Still French ball, holding on to it. This time Kalfawi. She goes down to ground, drives forward the Bordeaux prop. Big blow on the whistle there. All the pats on the back going to Hannah Bottomon again. She loves a turnover.
She does, and for me, this is why I think she is so useful as a starter for England, especially when you don't have an out-and-out 7 of a Marley Packer or potentially a Sardia Kabir. She gives you those turnovers, a bit different to Sarah Byrne, who is rampaging and running. Hannah Bottom is so good at that. She's got a really good read, but she's also got a really good body position. She's really difficult to move.
Ball comes in. Feyanati with the distribution this
Advantage,
time.
late tackle.
Oh, Hunt there, huge tackle on her.
Late tackle.
And a warning straight away.
Number
2
5,
quick
late
penalties
tackle.
there against France, and a big decision here for England. They've not kicked any penalties throughout this entire tournament, haven't even thought about it. Hence why Zoe Harrison straight
Number
away,
5.
she's looking at the whitewash on the side.
Yeah, I think as a group they will have a feel that they've got a bit of momentum here, that they've definitely got the upper hand, and good decision to go to the corner.
On the 5,
And
please.
not just a good decision, but a great kick. So many times you see fly halves being conservative. The difference, 5 yards out from 7 or 8, is great in terms of what you can do and what the French can't do.
Atkin Davis, clean arrows again, and here comes the drive. 2 tries already for England. They can sniff the try line from where they are, but the warning has come in. Hunt is waiting to see if that goes over. Try given.
And then grounded it. She's allowed to press.
Atkin Davis goes over again. All the effort from the forwards pays off. This is really racking up the scoreboard.
It is getting all the building blocks right. Getting the blocks in early, getting the ball to the back, getting the thing balanced before you start moving forward, and then having the patience to keep going when the French are floundering. You can see there the ball is always under control. It's never near a French arm.
Okay, thank you.
And the result is inevitable once they start going forward. Don't underestimate how difficult that is, actually.
Thank you.
Interesting as well that the pace England are playing with. Zoe Harrison there, she's not messing around with that kick and stuff. Ball is on the tee, she's getting it going. England obviously want to play with a really high tempo here.
Mark Atkin Davis, former school teacher, now full-time rugby player, scoring more tries. 26 now she's scored in a white shirt. She's also the top carrier in this game so far with 4 carries. Restart then from France, who had 1 real attack and have got 1 real try out of it, but they'll need the ball back. McDonald. Muir, Hurd, Harrison. Slight misconnection there with Alex Matthews. Dow with the straighten. Oh, there was a little one in there. You could see straight over the top there from France.
Where it happened? That's okay. Holding on.
And a big platform here for France to make a good decision.
I think this is where France have got an opportunity to really get into England in them wide channels. The opportunity to get a turnover, to get somebody over the ball is going to be huge. And taking moments like that in that position of the pitch where you can get into the 22. So you've got 2 back row in there, haven't you? Fail, who is over that, and then as soon as Sansu sees that, she wants to get going. She wants the ball alive.
And on Biagour steps up, player of the match against Wales. 34 years old now, a bit of a juggle in the air by Escudero. Bourdon Sansus finds her hooker once again. A Toulouse woman, this time we see Fal Rapalot. Bourgeois, second time we've seen France inside the England 22. Just holding on to the ball. Bourgeois, who's been so impressive throughout the tournament, drives forward, but England over the top of that again with Bottoman. Wow! She is here for business, and that's the way she likes it.
She is, and like I say, she's so good at it. If you watch the build-up to that play, she had 3 earlier attempts at that where she's had a go, she's seen an opportunity. That one, it's the speed. I think you don't give enough recognition for how quickly she gets around that corner and she gets over that ball to identify that opportunity. Just see it here,
knowing when to go, isn't it? When to make the serious effort, and then the power.
Will England get that ball in quickly from the line out? France trying to hold this one up.
It's fine. Leave it, thank you. Use it.
Gives it back to Harrison. You can hear the England players chatting away to the referee.
Inside of 50.
Uses that boot towards Singh. She's going to look up straight away. She slightly sliced that one off the side of her boot. Not quite what she wanted.
England's kicking strategy has been really interesting. They're kicking from what we would probably class a little bit inside the 15. You would generally drive outside the 15 to give yourself an angle. Yeah. There you see Emma Singh, it's not a great kick, you know, there's a lot of space for her to hit. But obviously wanting to just kick long to France and force France into a mistake, as in opposed to kicking to grass to go get the ball back.
Well, that's slightly over the top there by France. Fellaio couldn't get to it, so we come back down the England line again. Big pass out from Tatiana Word. There was a France hand on it. And Singh hacks on. We're playing advantage over, so France will get the put in at the line-up.
It's been very interesting at that ball stayed in because there was a lot of space there.
We talked about Emma Singh at the beginning, and obviously coming in for Ellie Kildun, there is a lot of pressure, but I think what's really bright, the moments she's having are really good. Just probably the execution is the bit that letting her down, but decision-making is bang on.
Better line out from France. Quick distribution there by Bertamieux, but it's not connected, and there's no choice really of a Bourdon Sansus but to do something, anything to get rid of that ball. France tying themselves up in knots here.
Well, that's a problem when you have your scrum half standing as a receiver.
Well, England have scored from this kind of position already on the other side of the field. Have France figured out how to stop this maul? It's still going, it's moving. That could still go the whole way. Will Hunt use it?
There is a whole half for England to attack there.
There it goes, Hurd. Down the line, Jones, out to Singh, Singh again! Emma Singh, top point scorer in the PWR this season, and currently the top point scorer in this Grand Slam decider.
Well, as soon as England looked up there was actually another player that had the whole half to herself from the outside post. And as soon as France had to come in, and a couple of players who would have been defending actually chose to join that maul, and as soon as they did that, France were at least 3 players down.
Emma Singh beat 9 defenders against Italy. Had to wait patiently for her next opportunity. And so far in this fixture, taking it well.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any easier than the 2 tries she's kind of been given there, hasn't she? Run-ins. I think England's forwards are dominating like we knew they would. Backs is good skill, good execution, and just good identification of space.
Just a reminder that in the build-up to today's fixture, we have had a game between Ireland and Scotland up in Edinburgh. Scotland won that one in the final moments of the match. It was all drawn at 19-all until there was a try by Fran McGee to go over. Rachel McLachlan, player of the match as well.
In the air. Just a penalty.
France in trouble there.
She landed on her feet. Just a penalty. Yeah, she's landed very safely though. It's a penalty.
Yeah, Hannah Bottoman there having a big chat with the referee about that collision. Sorry, Sarah. Just getting excited about Hannah Bottoman and our referee conversations.
Yep, 12 HIA returning.
But I think it's interesting because France are going to that same space, in a space that England are dominating with that kick return on. They're catching well, they're exiting well.
I gotta put time on.
Well, good news there for France fans. Gabrielle Vernier has passed her HIA and is back onto the field of play. England with the line out on the halfway. Ward down to Hunt, quick distribution then. Lovely take by Hurd, straight through to Jones, and that's why that centre partnership is firing. Hack through from Jones, she knew the tackle was coming. Still chase on from Hunt, also going in there from France. We can see it was Arbez, but just a little bit too much. And they'll have to bring it back for the goal line drop.
So 22?
That is vintage Emily Scarrier. You look at that line, Meg Jones has done a lovely job there. She's come outside in. She's come right across the French defender. Good decision as well to kick ahead. You get a foot race, don't you? In worst case, they get the ball back. It's a lovely line.
AR, or you can have a 22 dropout.
Do you think there was a call there, or is it instinctive to do that?
Run off.
No, they would have had double options there. I think they've probably said, look, we've gone to the edge a couple of times now. Let's go and play through them. It's the game of chess, isn't it, on your first phase? You go somewhere again, and then you might change it, and then you might go back.
Make sure you're behind, please.
Well, Carla Arbez finally gets us back underway after much discussion about what France wanted to do there. Bordeaux fly half gets us back underway.
Let's go, guys.
Ward again, the go-to woman for England at the line-out. We've seen Aldcroft take an awful lot of line-out ball. And here's a breakaway from Feyanati, wearing 7 for the first time.
Play on.
It's okay if it goes forward, if it touches the leg. It's only if it goes forward from the hand
Advantage.
that the referee
knock on in the tackle
will say there, and that's gone forward from France. So England with the advantage. Hunt.
Just a knock on advantage.
Another juckle there.
Advantage.
This time Muir.
Penalty, high tackle.
Got another high tackle here. That one will be penalty
now
advantage.
Penalty
Huge
advantage
pass out from Meg Jones to Claudia MacDonald.
Advantage is over.
She fires away down the left wing. Plenty of blue shirts there.
Advantage.
Botman can't take. Now she said advantage was over, so we can keep playing.
Use it.
Options being offered on either side.
Tackle
Grenobes,
release.
Vallejo flying forward.
Use
Only made
it.
a debut last year. Here we go. Arbez with the crossfield kick. Taken out there on the left wing to Kelly
we've got
Arbey,
foul
but there's a
play against
check.
Blue, so he can't play on. TMO check. So we're checking potential foul play against Blue that I paid penalty advantage for.
Maggie, I'm just going to get up for you now. So we do have head contact by France, number 3. Let's put it up for you now, get you the best view. So it's on the screen now.
Okay, and you can confirm that we've got direct shoulder-to-head contact there, Quinton?
We'll show you the same view now, just again.
Okay.
We'll rock and roll it for you again.
So I think foul play, she could be lower. I'm not at a high degree of danger, but I think it meets the yellow card threshold. Yellow card threshold, so we'll put it in the bunker for review. Okay, and can you just, the number is 3 blue?
That's 3 blue, that's correct,
Okay, and
Mags.
can you just get me the mark as well?
Yep, we'll get you the mark now.
Okay, perfect, I have a decision. Okay, so we do have head contact by 3 blue. There is foul play because this player could be lower. It meets the yellow card threshold, so it will be a yellow card and go for an off-field review. Number 3.
France women Asaya Kalfawi is sent to the sin bin, and that will go for review. If it does end up being red, that would be a 20-minute red card. And how great is it that the whole crowd knew that decision because the referee was booming out around the stadium?
Okay. I'll just put time on when
Yes, of course. No one wants to be in the dark. I thought it was a marginal one. It was definitely a penalty.
Okay. Time is on.
It was a very close call, I think, for a yellow card. I'd be astonished if it was turned into a red.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's, for me, that is penalty only. I think there's mitigation, not high force, all the things that we play through then. It's hard, isn't it? Because we were about to see something special from France.
Over the 15.
Kalfawi was actually yellow carded last year against Talling. Similar incident as Meg Jones comes away with the ball. Look at that pass out wide. MacDonald, too easy. Claudia MacDonald, player of the match last week against Scotland, saying thank you very much for that lovely pass from centre Meg Jones, who spotted the gap.
Just execution, isn't it? And for me, a little bit of decision-making. You know, we've seen England go to the corner, we've seen drive and maul, then you've seen Hannah Bottoman bulldoze, and you can just see all of France backs there scrambling so hard. England have done such a good job of chopping them off, of winning the race round the corner, and then it's a lovely pass by Meg Jones. Again, Claudia MacDonald's got a very, very easy run in.
Well, England have made good starts in games, then being pulled back, but in this one, they've just continued to execute well.
They're definitely playing at a different level to France here on there. I think, you know, like I said, decision-making, the options they're taking, you know, they're going to the maul, then they're coming away from the maul, they're playing wide, they're going to the middle. At the moment, France don't know what is coming next.
Bill Mitchell, the England head coach on the right of your screen, they're not giving anything away as Claudia MacDonald continues to enjoy her renaissance. 2 back injury neck injury she's come back from. As we can see there, David Ortiz, one half of the French head coaching staff, looking on. We'll start to be concerned about that scoreline right about now.
Inside.
Singh with the clearance. Bourgeois, haven't seen so much of her in this fixture. She has been such a hot name, you have to say, for France throughout this tournament, but so far hasn't been able to get involved. She's only had one carry as the captain, Fellier, drives forward, gives it to Bigot.
No, leave it!
Bourdon Sansus looks up. Foul Raclot is there. Bigot once again. And when France get into this routine, this is the 5th carry for Bigot. Vernier now straightening. It's
that backwards.
It's a frustration that went backwards for France, but they're still going in their pomp.
Get out, 9.
Fellier there. They're closing in on the line. Almost identical attempts at the line here from France. Driving forward, that one from Brosseau.
No, leave it!
England warned to let go of that. Foul Raclot again. England alive to the game now. Escudero is waiting. Fellier, but England, they've turned over the ball.
Blue, leave it, Blue, leave it. It's under your own player.
Big turnover there. Big moment. A 3rd turnover for England.
Let it come, let it come.
Hunt directing the troops. She knows she needs to get this one away. Back then to Harrison. She clears, and danger averted for the time being.
Well, heartbreaking for the French because, again, a superb series of drives.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Time off. Manai? Manai. Zoe, the yellow card will remain a yellow card, not a high degree of danger. Okay? I'll let you match.
You two both happy with that decision?
5. Play with 5, and
If there's no high degree of danger, I'm not that sure it was a yellow, but yes, certainly happy that it's no more than that.
Well, I'm sure Assia Khalfawi is pleased with that decision. France then. They've just threatened the line. Can they get back there again? Arbez.
No, not above the horizontal.
They're happy with that contact. They go once again. Rousseau on the ball, supported once again by Foul Raclot.
No, sorry.
They've done it again.
Who was it again?
Sorry, I put my hand
she
up
put her the wrong way.
This player needs to roll first. Yeah, I know you're stuck. She needs to roll first.
Oh, we thought
Number
England
2
had got away with another big one.
Must roll away first.
Hannah Bottoman was on a hat-trick there, wasn't she, as well?
Okay. Arbez is looking. She's looking for the long way to go to get this line out for France, and she's going to regret that decision. Why didn't they go the other way? We'll try and find out, but bizarre decision there by France as England knock it on. Why on earth would you go towards the near side when you're closer to the far side?
I have no idea, because I mean, she's a right footer, so potentially coming to that right touchline is easier for her, but you could have gone 20 metres instead of 40 in that instance. And you know, great job by Emma Singh there. You know, she does a really good job of very aware of what she has to do there. I don't think the ball has even got to the touchline anyway, but it's just France, isn't it? You think you've got these opportunities, you're not going to get 10 of these today. You're going to have to make the most of the ones you get.
Time on.
Okay, Rosie Bernardou is on in the front row, the Montpellier tight head. That's because, of course, we do still have Khalfawi in the bin at the moment. The player that's had to be sacrificed is Charlotte Escudero. But this is a French scrum.
Bind! Set!
On the near side of your screen, you can see Marine Ménager is packing down with her side. Just trying to keep up the weight against this English
pack. We need to
pack.
keep our height up, okay? Height on both sides. Height. Let's go. Reset.
So Marine Ménager there on your screen.
Let's get the height up.
She's the current French She has played on the wing in this Six Nations. She can play in the centres. She does have a twin sister as well, Romain Ménager, who has played in this Six Nations but is out with concussion at the moment, and we wish her sister all the best with her recovery.
Use it! Use it!
Warning there for France to get on with it. Bourdon-Sansus found Vernier, who was quite static there as the English white shirts flew up to her. Round the corner it comes, Felleux. Straightened ball, better from France. When they're direct, it's good. Foul, Racco again.
Counter ruck is good.
Vigo pushed back there. England, they are poaching perfectly right now.
Use it. Now.
Oh, and a mistake from Zoe Harrison. Now, she knocked on the ball, it was alive, and it was touched down by France. That is a try.
It is opportunist, but knowing the law, and simple mistake by England, after they'd done very good work, actually, choosing which counter-ruck to win the ball at. Slightly, just head slightly up.
Yeah, it was hard, wasn't it? Because the ball's dipping there from Mohun, and like you say, Zoe Harrison, she's just got her head up just before she's caught it and exited. But like you say, Bourdon-Sansus very alive to what's going on. Good opportunist try.
Pushed early. Yeah, I agreed. Yeah.
Bourgeois. Good for her kick. She's been a 77% kicker throughout this tournament, but this was the moment. And it's moments like that, those communications, those combinations, they will be noted down in a pad. There is a World Cup coming up later this year.
Potentially, but look, there's also moments in a game where they're just one of them moments. The thing to learn from is Zoe Harrison, or somebody needs to kill the ball. If that happens, you can't sit there and look at it.
Well, England still with a commanding lead here at Twickenham. They've got 5 tries to France's 2. As France try and go and steal that one back, but told to leave by the referee. Talling.
Backwards.
It's been end-to-end stuff. Both have made over 200 metres as McDonald tries to break away. Hunt, nice pop off there. Gives it in the end to Talling again.
Play on.
Stolen on the floor this time by France. Bourdon-Sansus not mucking around. She knows there's no one on that wing. Chased by Grise. Singh calmly takes, knows she's under pressure, and does really well there to let go and go again.
Use it. Now.
Feanati showing her power.
Ball's available.
Bottoman.
Strip.
Running head first and over the top there of Tayane Felleux. That's not easy to do. Harrison with the cross field. Dow just had to stop that one.
Ball's live.
Goes out of play. Got to be a French lineup.
Look, it's nice from England here, you see. Nice little option, isn't it? They've got the space. They've got, to be honest, they've got loads of space there because France are so narrow. Just a little bit long. Abby Dow can't accelerate onto it. But I thought you go back a little bit. Emma Singh did really well there. She was under pressure. It was a great kick from Bourdon-Sansus. Great chase as well from Grise. But just smart. Gets up, buys her team time, allows England the opportunity to exit.
How many? Okay, thank you. Time on.
Well, this should be the last phase of play. We see France with 14. Since they've been down to 14, it's on as even. Both have scored a try in that period. But what have they got here?
Don't change your outside bind. Leave her, don't pull her out. Don't hook the leg, don't put the leg and leave her there.
Bourdon-Sansus wanted to get that one away. Vernier once again stood in that first receiver spot. Bit of miscommunication there with France. No one quite clear of what the plan was. Val Reclos goes again. Bordeaux second row as Bottoman is warned, and there's the little snipe round the corner. France keeping it alive. Felleux popped off again. Brosseau. Ménager. Grise is there.
Forward pass.
But they will come back. Frustration there for France. They will now get the extra player back onto the field ahead of this English scrum.
Okay.
I think Natasha Hunt is really lucky there. There's the next, I mean, this is a lovely break from Bordeaux and Santos. And again, their offloading game coming to life. It's going to hand there. It was just a moment where Mohan got stuck on the wrong side there. Very lucky that wasn't a penalty.
It was a penalty.
Okay, so France back up to 15. And technically haven't lost any points in that period because both have scored a try.
Crouch!
Of course, this isn't quite the Super Saturday everyone thought it would be because we haven't had the fixture today between Italy and Wales. That one will be played tomorrow now. That, of course, after the funeral of Pope Francis. That one gets underway 12:30 in Italy tomorrow, 11:30 if you're in the UK. Down.
Hold on. Come back, come back.
Well, France got rid of that one quite quickly, sent it straight back to England's half of the field. Bourgeois there, as he said, she's been so important, her kicking prowess throughout this Six Nations.
A couple of times, Katie, when the ball is going wide and England is searching for the edge, I get the feeling that it's slightly too, it's not direct enough in terms of where they're going in midfield. Seems to me there's a drift on occasions which is not helping them.
No, totally agree. I think they just need to be a bit more direct. Maybe Meg Jones can carry there a couple of times before she hits Emma Singh. Emma Singh can carry, not giving Abby Down many options.
Wait here, 5.
Well, England have made a few mistakes in this fixture. It's not been as clean as we have experienced it. That's the pressure that France are putting on them. Big tackles raining in there. Abby Ward. Gordon Sansus needs her players to start moving forward. Kalfawi taking on duties, go back onto the pitch, off her wing, looking for work this time is Arbe, the Toulouse wing, but it's lost forward.
The problem with these successive drives from France, Close, each pass out of a tackle requires a great amount of skill. When the arms are flying around you and you're having to free your own arms, then you've got to drop the ball off immediately to the supporting player who's got to be in the right position. When you're doing that time after time, it's enough to have it done 3 or 4 times. When you're asking a pack of forwards to do it 7 or 8 times, it becomes really difficult to sustain.
It does, and also you've got to win that contact. You can't do it when it's really busy, and this is where France, for me, need to adapt and evolve. You've got to read the situation. Once you're in behind and you've got positive momentum, yes, offload. But when it's just messy, you've got to just start again and find another way.
Straight down.
The referee going to reset this one. We talked a lot about France's offloading game, which is going to be a real theme throughout this match to continue. 53 offloads in the build-up to this fixture. They've carried it on here as they try and go for this big Six Nations title. You can see there, this is as it stands, so that's not the end. That's just if the score stays as it is right now on your screen. Ireland have just held on to that 3rd spot, of course, after losing to Scotland earlier today. And here comes Meg Jones, pass out wide to McDonald. She hacks through.
Take him back.
Calm head coming on. Still French
Backwards
ball.
on white.
Frustration there from Bourgeois. She hacks on. Referee happy. Not sure if she'll check that. As the ball goes out of play.
Yeah. Marcus here.
And she's happy that she's going to restart that
2
one
each
with
now.
a French
Still your ball,
liner.
50-22. Too many people here. 50-22.
So 50-22, that means the ball is kicked and bounced in the 22. That means that the throw is given to the attacking side. And a great piece of skill.
Lovely stuff by France as Bigot steps up. Can they get more out of this first half? Just make that scoreline a bit more respectable.
Get out now.
The drive is good.
Same
Bigot
ball.
still has it, and she's still latched
Broke
on.
away.
Now she releases.
That's a tackle now, let it come. Stay here, stay here.
Bourdon Sansus looks up. Faraclo is there. Pick and go round the corner by Kaufawi. Looking for options, Escudero, 5 meters left to go. The flanker still flying. Quick ball comes in from Bourdon Sansus, out wide they go, Ménager! France get their 3rd try. They are refusing to let England run away with this as the co-captain, Marine Ménager, goes over.
Thank you.
And good to see France rewarded for their endeavours up front. And this perhaps is what they need to do, is to discern when the ball needs to go and when you carry on driving direct.
Morgan Bourgeois once again lining this one up. Only 22 years old. She is also very fast as well as having a good boot. Lovely bit of skill there by the 22-year-old. Just making that scoreline a little bit more comfortable. Less work for France to do if they can just keep working through the hard yards.
As I think we said before the programme and at the start, in fact all the way through this half, France have the ability, they do have the carriers to make significant ground against England. It's just having the discipline and recognising when to go again and when not.
Restart then goes to Arbez. She sends it out towards the far side wing. Calmly just puts that one down. Carla Arbez has previously had a sevens contract.
Over the 15.
Ward takes that one in the air. Have England got something before the half-time whistle? Down.
Thank you.
Aldcroft, the skipper who started every game of this Six Nations campaign for England and the only player to do it. She has gone some this rugby season. And a big penalty for France and a big decision with the clock in the red what they do here.
Number 4. Yeah, if you tap it and kick it out, it's half on.
Do they want more, or are they going to play on?
I think they're going to play on, and I think that's right.
Well, no problem with finding touch on this occasion. So France have got this lineup. There's still a long way for them to go. If you get the penalty,
you can have one more if you need
you can still play the lineup.
That's fine.
And France is stepping up.
Actually 6.
Another score now would be a very different half-time talk. Bigot, Escudero, down it comes. Bourdon Sansus, Vernier, out it goes, down the line. Arbez finds Ménager, but it's lost forward. That would have been very nice, but that is the half. France not out of this just yet, but England certainly in control for most of that first 40. They got 5 tries altogether, but France with a couple of their own, 3 in total. Has that little brains trust of England, has that early chat before they go into the sheds. Right then, half-time, it's England 31, France 21.
France growing into the half, but Simon Middleton, perhaps the architects of their own downfall early on in that game.
Just their discipline, you know, they were really sloppy. They just invited in, and England were up in no time.
Well, you can see there the stats of the half in terms of penalties conceded. France 5 to England's 2. and tackles missed. England 13, interesting, and France 14. England also, Katie Daly-McLean there as the half through, just getting a little bit rattled.
They did, massively got rattled. I think if anything, England started so well. They were so bright, they were so aggressive. They looked like they were going to put 50 points on France in that first half. And then, like you say, France grew into it. England got a bit sloppy and if anything, let France into that game.
But it's very typical of the French, though, aren't they? Yeah. They sort of wait until the opportunities present themselves, and then they find their way in. And I think what's been quite fascinating is seeing how England manage it. It's all about game management now, because we've seen this before 2 years ago, and then England started to take their foot off the pedal. I know, Simon, you were coaching back then, but it just highlights the fact that France have the ability to find their way back into the game. And you do feel the second half will definitely be more competitive.
There's quite a lot to go through, so let's have a little look, shall we? England's getting off to a really quick start, and Emma Singh coming in for Ellie Killdunn made a great break.
Yeah, she gets up on the outside here. It's really interesting watching the French winger, how she just sits off there and just invites her into the space, and that's what creates the momentum that England then play off the back of that.
Oh yeah, and then when you think about here, like, I love the way that Zoe Harrison just identifies the space behind. Look, France, for me, Bourgeois in particular, she potentially comes out of the position, and that opens the gap, doesn't it, Katie?
But the pack had done such hard work, hadn't they? They'd got France short, they'd provided the space. France was so lateral, there's no defensive pressure there. It's always easy for England, they've just got to pick the right option.
But the French are making so many decisions for England for themselves. They're jumping out of the line, they're inviting them into the space.
And you said pre-match that France, sometimes, they are a little bit, shall we say, careless. Their insanity in terms of doing the same thing and then leading to mistakes. But actually, sometimes it leads to a try.
Yeah, ironically, it's probably their best chance of winning 100%. The game. Because if they just go through the motions, there'll only be one outcome. But here they start again, offloading. Then they're playing through the middle, so again, offload. Very much the game that we talked about. Them at the very, very best, okay? But very controlled offloads.
100%, I think that's the difference. The first half, France were very much in control of their offload. They won the contact, they were in behind, they had control. Towards the second bit of that first half, they went back to
But then they get into this really physical, short, carrying game, and playing to the strengths.
But I think what's key is their breakdowns, so they know when to have the tempo, and then, like in this scenario, they know when to slow it down. And if you watch here, Tatiana Hurd flies out of the line, so she over chases. And as a result of that, they can target that weak shoulder. So what I think France are very good at the moment is recognising when to go quick and when to go slow, and recognising again when England overchase.
Most offloads last year for France, most offloads this year. They're not changing their style anytime soon, are they? Emma Singh had that great break for Abby Dow, but she was also on the end of a couple of tries as well. Hard work from the forwards though, but Emma Singh on song.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, she's a class fullback, and class fullbacks know where to be at the right time. So her intervention into the line, and when you've got players like Meg Jones to play off, who's going to find you? So yeah, Meg plays through the line there. Great offload.
It's lovely, isn't it? The way she gets in behind defenders.
Yeah, I have to sort of highlight here, England's pressure's brilliant here, so that they fly out of the line, they put Bourdon Sanzus under that strain of having to make a decision. But I think England's maul game has been brilliant, so they've been able to commit the players, and France's defence is so narrow. So Bourgeois, look how close she's in. She's really into the kick here in regards to the space, so she's unable to fly out. And Meg Jones, what a lovely pass, and then it's just easy, just keeping the ball alive. But I do believe it's coming from that narrow drive, the England maul, and it's really narrowing up the French defence.
Well, we heard from the Rizzle Kicks ahead of the match. They were looking forward to entertaining this crowd, so let's take a few moments of them.
Nobody gonna take my crown, hold back. Nah, never gonna happen. Go back. Nah, never gonna happen. Especially when it's all packed out, crowd shouting out. Yeah, I love that sound. Yeah. I love that sound. Yeah. I love that sound. Hey. So flick your fat butts at once on a mad one. Yeah, your mama can't help. Hey. Do the heart, mama. Do the heart, mama. Do the heart, mama.
Well, the crowd seem to be enjoying that, but we've got plenty more to have a little look at, haven't we? Katie, A yellow card obviously was eventually decided to be a yellow card for Calafell. Same thing happened last year. Talk about repeating with the same mistakes. At that point in the game, France are really under pressure as well. And of course, England are going to take advantage.
Yeah, 100%, like you say. I think definitely a yellow card, no more. If anything, it was probably only a penalty. But France grew, didn't they? They got better as it went on here. And you see there, like Maud Muir does a really good job of kind of holding on to that ball. This is the yellow, this is from the yellow here. But, I mean...
Well, I'll tell you what breaks me about this. She's clearly really upset as she goes off the field. It's too late. It's too late. You've got to be more disciplined. They kill themselves with discipline.
But as a result of that, it leads on to this try, and it just highlights, look, they're down, France are down 14 players, they spot the space. Meg Jones, what a pass to be able to find McDonald. But again, it's the French discipline. They've given away 5 penalties so far, and this sort of repeats from last year.
19.6 metres, 46.
Is that the stat on the pass? That is impressive. I mean, Katie was impressive.
46 kilometres per hour, a big pass.
I mean, I'm a forward. I wouldn't know how to pass with regards to that.
Maggie never got past 3 metres, so we don't need to worry. And that's if she passed.
But it's really good that England are able to capitalise when they recognise that France are down. But France discipline is going to be an issue, and they need to improve that.
OK, let's get some reaction from inside the England camp. Sonia is with some of the players.
I am, and never mind this crowd enjoying the Rizzle kicks. Lily Ives Campion and Mia Venner, you've been enjoying it as well, haven't you? Yeah. You've been busting some moves, haven't you? Questionable dancing. Oh, OK, look, France have rather weathered that England storm, haven't they? I just wonder what the tone of the conversation might be in the England dressing room right now.
I think that potentially we built up loads of pressure, but we just let them off in really key areas, so it's really fixing up on that, and we've done so well to be direct and contain that, but there's certain areas where I feel like we're just going to go to a change room, discuss, come together about, and then see that we can put that in on the second half.
Via, you're a wing, when you rattle in as many tries as England have done there in that very quick period, just 5, is there a danger that it gets, a little bit sloppy?
Yeah, I mean, we might be complacent, that's something we try to avoid, but I think going into this game we wanted to play a two-sided attack, and I think we've done that really well. We've done a really good job of getting to those edges. I think we just, like Lily alluded to, we need to tighten up in our D in that breakdown area that's really causing us a lot of issues.
And just give us a sense of, Zoe Harrison was really cross with herself, wasn't she, for making that error in the in goal area, and, just give us a sense of her personality. How quickly will she be able to bounce back from that?
Yeah, I think that's like really uncommon for Zoe, and I think obviously she'll be annoyed about that, but she'll really come back into that as well, especially if it's close to the second half. She'll come in, regroup with the girls, they'll all come together, and I think that, yeah, she will forget about it by that second half.
Appreciate your time, both. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Well, there is Ellie Kildunn, and her very distinctive hair, I'm sure, means she can't really hide in this crowd, can she? Not that she wants to. She loves giving the fans a little bit of attention, doing those selfies, and a chance for her to just chill out a little bit today.
How cool does she look, though? I mean, she looks absolutely cool, just sits in the stands, and everyone's like, wow, there's Ellie. She's a superstar now. She's become a superstar, and the fans love her, don't they?
That used to be you, though, Max, didn't it, back in the day?
And let's talk about the French comeback, because you talked about what a live wire Pauline Bourdon-Sansus is, and this is a real example. So any kids watching, be alert to what's happening in front of you.
Yeah, look, we said that she is always on the ball, and I think what's really good here, the French build it up, but Bourdon-Sansus, she's very good at recognising when to take those chances. So England win the ball back. Abby Ward is brilliant here in the breakdown, but watch Bourdon-Sansus, she's going to fly out of the line and she's going to put pressure on Harrison, and she's constantly thinking about what to do. But this is really interesting because Harrison, this has happened before, I remember against Wales, she almost takes her eye off the ball, and that opportunity to recognise the ball is free, that's when you have to get somebody on it, you've got to react. And Bourdon-Sansus, she is very good. What are you going to say, Katie?
I'm going to say, I don't think that's all on Zoe Harrison. I think that ball there from Mo Hunt. Mo is a very, very good distributor, and that ball is dropped. And as a 10, when you're in your goal line and you know pressure's coming, you need that on the money. You don't want any variation, and you certainly don't want one dropping at your knee.
But Harrison, this is a big thing when we talk about the battle of the 10, and Aitchison, she almost would back herself in a scenario that Harrison sort of took her eye off the ball, and it has happened a couple of times.
I'm in Katie's camp with this. That ball's at her feet, and interesting as well why they didn't choose the box kick.
Yeah, you could see from upstairs in comms that Abby Dow's given a lot of conversation. You've got a forward pod to your left, so I think it's one of those that just haven't got right. They haven't been accurate enough. They've gotten two minds, and they just haven't exited very well there.
Okay, let's stop the squabbling for a moment, and let's have a look at France really kind of getting themselves back into the game in terms of the scoreline, with Manager coming in at the end of the half.
I'm amazed that they're in the game, France. They could be 50 points down very easily. And it comes back to what you said, Maggie, earlier on, where England made two errors overplaying in their own half, and then they're back in the game. 2 years ago, you know, they were very close. One more play and the game would have been over in France's favour. Interested to see how they react.
And do you know what the big issue for me is? That actually England didn't really look to counter up or slow down the breakdown, which Hannah Bottom has been really good in this first half. She's made 2 turnovers. But in that scenario, they almost just backed off and let France have this quick tempo. France do that really well, don't they? The tempo, and then England should have to react to that.
Okay, and we've got loads more sport coming up for you on the BBC this weekend. The World Snooker Championship continues this evening from 7 on BBC 2. Tomorrow morning, it's the London Marathon. I'll be with you from 8:30 on BBC 1. Tomorrow afternoon, you can watch the rearranged match between Italy and Wales. It's actually in the morning. Our coverage starts at 11:15 on BBC iPlayer. And for all your rugby news throughout the week, why not subscribe to Rugby Union Weekly with Sarah Orchard, Chris Jones, Hugo Monnier and the rest of the gang on BBC Sounds. Well, when we're watching that Pauline Bourdon-Sansus try there, we described it when we were chatting, Maggie, weren't we, as being like a goalkeeper dropping the ball when they're in football, obviously. I'm talking about now. Well, I've got a rather good goalkeeper for us to hear from now. Mary Earps is with Sonia.
Yeah, one of the most recognisable female athletes in Britain. It is Lioness goalkeeper Mary Earps. How are you enjoying your day at Twickenham?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is my first real rugby game. So yeah, I'm really excited that I could be down here today. Very different from the football, but yeah, it's been a great game for England so far and a really nice atmosphere. So really good.
I'm really liking this T-shirt. I need to get myself one of these. Yeah, what's that all about?
Basically, it's an incredible summer coming up of women's sport. You've got the Lionesses with the Euros, you've got the Red Roses with the rugby. The cricket have got a World Cup later this year as well. So I wanted to kind of put a T-shirt together, my clothing brand ME27, and sort of celebrate that, women supporting women, all that kind of thing. So yeah, I printed this up yesterday. I've been working with my good friends at Muirwalls to bring this together. So yeah, Lioness and a red rose, kind of, that's what I've gone for.
I'm liking the vibe. You're obviously going to be defending your Euros title in Switzerland in July. Are England set fair?
Yeah, the preparation's well underway. Team's working hard, and as I say, it's a big summer of sport for women's sport. I think it's amazing. I don't think there's really any men's sport kind of going on. You've got the FIFA Club World Cup, but it's going to be all about the women this summer, and that's really, really exciting.
I reckon you'd be quite good at rugby. You know, safe hands, right?
I would give it a good go. Like, I'd like to take someone out for sure.
I bet you would. Thank you, Mary. Lovely to meet you.
Very much. Good to speak to you. Thank you.
A bit of trouble if she does that in her sport. So Mary there, really supportive stuff she was saying, and brilliant to see her here. But Katie's very jealous. You want that T-shirt?
I want that T-shirt. How do I get one of those T-shirts for the summer? Brilliant.
We will find out. Let's have a quick look, shall we, at the benches, because this is often where these big matches are decided. What's in it for you, Maggie?
Look, for me, if I was England, I would actually get Sarah Byrne on fairly quickly, because she's been outstanding this tournament. Whenever she comes on, she usually scores 1 or 2 tries, and that's when you want to come on, when the field starts to break up. She'd be brilliant to bring on right now.
Well, the experience is with England, clearly, Katie.
Yeah, it's massive. You know, you look at the caps there, he's 300 versus 130. But for me, it's that front line. Abby Burton will add something. Rosie Gallagher would add something. Kelsey Clifford will add something. I think that's the danger for France, isn't it? If you don't get a score ahead, England are going to dismantle you.
England are 40 minutes from a Grand Slam and a 7th consecutive title. There's 10 points in it. Sarah Orchard, take it away.
One half of rugby left, 1 trophy to win. 2 teams want it. And France, what have they got? Can they get back into this game? But no, crossing early on, the simplest of rugby mistakes, and they give the ball back, gift-wrapped to England.
This here. Number 3, obstruction.
Exactly what you don't want, very avoidable. Gives England the chance to kick right to the corner. Catch and drive again, which they've done previously.
That was the new law from World Rugby, that you can't protect the receiver of the ball. So you could just see there, I think it was Kaufawi was just blocking the defender coming in to try and get the ball.
No contest.
So the referee's really hot on that this year as the ball comes in from England. warning there once that Hunt has to get this moving. Hurd waits, drives. Hunt again, options, Harrison, big pass out wide, Singh is there, huge tackle on her, more of a statement than a tackle there.
Advantage.
By Joanna Grisey.
Yep, knock-on advantage.
They push out towards the far side. Grisey, who is only playing her second match of this Six Nations, is absolutely alive here.
Use it.
Bourdon-Sansus wanted a little bit more space there for that box kick. She got it. Harrison has to take it into contact, and she's dancing round defenders. Lovely stuff by the Saracen. Muir. Hurd. Singh can't hold on to that
advantage,
one.
knock on.
Her eye just caught there by Kelly Arbe, flying up towards her.
It's just a
France
knock-on
then
advantage.
Trying to shift it out. Oh, France can't pick that one up. Bit of a mess.
No advantage. Okay.
Was a bit of a mess. Had that ball gone to hand, England with 3-on-1 with a good 30 metres between there and this near touchline.
Okay. Mark's here.
Well, under a bit of pressure, but she should be able to give and take that. One of the things I think England must have talked about at half-time is their defence around the fringes of the breakdown, because France were making yards and yards, metres and metres successively, and England have to tighten that up.
Set! Stay.
And you saw the handling errors there of both sides. And that's a huge shove from England, but the referee says no, it's gone up. It's going to give the put-in back to France.
Okay.
As they get
Come
ready
in.
to
need to stay down if we want to be
down
rewarded.
again.
Don't step left. Okay, well, I've just spoken to them. You don't step left
See
before the
there
head.
on the right-hand side of your screen, that's Gaëlle Mignon, half of the head coaching staff for France. Former French hooker, 70 caps to her name.
Crouch! Bind!
Gaëlle Mignon has been in charge of the attack.
Set!
Been in charge of the contact, the scrum. This is her area. Penalty advantage to France.
Angle.
England on the angle. Bourdon-Sansus is off. Not interested in slowing this down. Vernier, oh, she went for the back door. It's gone backwards though. Back inside. France do not want to play slowly. They want this at 100 miles an hour. Underneath that one was Alex Matthews. She was on that like a limpet.
Holding on penalty here.
Another good steal.
Time off for the injury.
Whilst going backwards.
Yep. Okay, we're just having issues with the props, so I've got to sort that out before I can start looking down. But I understand. No, I understand what you're saying, but we're having issues up top, so I've got to deal with that
really good speed,
first.
isn't it?
I understand. I can get my ARs to have a look. Just hold the mark for me, Maria. Make sure they don't.
Well, they're just watching that strip there.
Okay. Okay. There's no foul play from this.
And
It's
there's
just a
an
holding on
injury
penalty
at the
over there.
moment they're dealing with for France.
Yep. Yes.
So we'll just have a little bit of a break here as they just make sure everything is checked out.
I think it's Claudia MacDonald, isn't it? Down at the moment. Doesn't look comfortable either.
Well, Claudia MacDonald, as we spoke about in the first half, the Exeter wing, she is in some pain there, so we do wish her all the best. Already come back from 2 neck injuries to fight her way and really impress in this Six Nations campaign. We can see warming up at the moment in the technical area. No doubt the head coach, John Mitchell, there sending the messages down. Helena Rowland is warming up. She's a real utility player, Helena Rowland, as Claudia MacDonald continues to give instruction there to the medical staff. She knows exactly where the pain is. And the big fear of any player being injured right now, we have to say it, is this is a World Cup year. And if you are injured and it is serious, that is what is at threat.
100%. You know, you look at where this time is in the calendar, and all players are aware of it. Look, you still want to go out, you want to go, you play well, you see that there, and the ankle just gets trapped. But it's in the back of your mind. Almost the serious injuries now are the ones that will rule you out of the World Cup.
Well, the ankle got caught there, didn't it? And the knee took the weight that went through it.
Right now. I'll keep having a look at it. There was
It's like
one
a
obviously that
medial
was a not rolling that I
ligament to
analyzed,
me.
But right now I think they're getting out as quick as they can. Because they can't just disappear, right? Just like you guys, you can't just evaporate.
It's hard, isn't it? Because you look at her there, and as a player, you are so aware of your body. She is somebody who is very, very in tune with her body to know that that just doesn't feel right.
Okay, the last penalty was against them.
Nice
just unlucky.
I just need you guys on your footing too to make sure that you don't step left.
Well, it looks like Claudia McDonald, despite being in a bout of pain, is having a lot of strapping done at the moment. So I don't know if she's actually going to come off the field, which is good news if she thinks she can play on. They're putting a huge amount of strapping on that right leg, and the question here is does she have to play on?
Well, I was going to say, they better be sure that that's fixed, because if there's any doubt, then there is absolutely no point, given what's coming up, in taking a chance.
Sometimes as well, I think as a player, you want that opportunity though, so coaches
you do, and that's when it not to be left to you.
Yeah, don't leave it to a player, but it might be they give her 5 minutes to just see how it goes. If there's any doubt, they're going to bring her off.
Well, that is Helena Rowland. You just saw on your screen there as a cheer goes up from the crowd for Claudia McDonald, who will play on. It is worth saying that there is no out-and-out winger on the England bench. They've got Lucy Packer, who's a scrum half, Holly Aitchison, who can play 10, 12, 13. Helena Rowland, we've seen her play at 10, 12, 15. She can play on the wing. She's an incredible utility player, but perhaps not out-and-out gas.
No, and I think if they were going to make that change, you probably don't want to make it 44 minutes either. It's something that is later on in the game. So ideally, if Claudia comes through, she's able to run this off and get maybe another 20 minutes out of this.
The ball is back in play. You will have heard both sides talking heavily to the referee about the scrum as the ball is knocked on there by England. And McDonald, she is being careful with that leg.
Under pressure, going backwards.
Well, certainly a way to test her, isn't it? Bring her back inside on a crash ball.
No advantage.
Doesn't look comfortable to me still.
And I think totally for your, again, game management, she's just had a big knock. The last thing you want is something at the line, aggressive, where you've got to change direction. Just give her something easy, or don't play to her, play away from her.
Yeah, I understand, but you need to bind on her back, and then it's easy for me, okay?
Okay, so as I said, there's been a huge amount of conversation between both sides and the referee. The England coaching staff having a conversation about whether they take off Claudia McDonald.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Ball is in from France.
Use
England
it!
desperate to drive forward, but France get it out again. Fellier to Bourdon-Sansus, Arbez, Bourdon-Sansus again, Grisey. Oh, wonderful stuff by Joanna Grisey, who is running and turning England inside and out.
Take a step.
Bordeaux wing showing how it's done. That's her 4th carry. Kalfawi.
Tackle!
Bordeaux teammate. Will be returning to Elite 1 in France. Few more games of their league season left to go. Paul Raclot on the floor. This is better from France. Another try, and they are really in the mixer. Bourdon-Sansus, she's keeping this tight, just making sure that France don't overstretch themselves for now. Big hits going on Yolanda Brosseau. A 9th consecutive start in the front row. She's carried 8 times today. Oh, lovely soft hands. Arbe coming in. Kalfawi again, and you have to give credit to France here, who are working through the phases. Brosseau.
Advantage, knock on.
Oh, ball knocked on. England come away. Hunt has it. Into the midst in the end of Feyenoordi. And all that effort from France. That wonderful run by Grisey. And Bottoman, she starts heading down route 1.
Off feet. Tackler not rolling, and you're off your feet. Number 5 must roll, and number 1 is off her feet. Just over here, sorry, 10, just over here where the penalty was. Okay.
Just look at the break here, McDonald on the wing.
Time off. 11,
Well, it's just going high, it's not necessarily, as I thought it might be, something to do with a knee injury or a knee knock.
Just stand in front of her, Maria.
So here we go, this is the change then. Claudia McDonald coming off the field of play. The whole crowd delighted that she's running off the field, but coming on now, Helena Rowland. Now we will check how England realign themselves. It could be that Rowland actually goes to fullback and Singh moves to the wing, but we'll keep a close eye. Right then, Matthews. Harrison.
Backwards.
Long pass out to Dow. Here she goes. Ready with the handoff whenever it's required.
She's retreating.
Bottoman. Strong run by Matthews. Straightened by Harrison, she saw the gap. She's got support on her shoulder. Driving for the line is the skipper.
Easy up, easy up.
Zoe Aldcroft, captain fantastic, extends the England lead, just as France thought maybe they could get back into this.
England needed that try as well, but for me came for speed ball. Yes, we see a great break here from Abby Dow. Lovely ball again over the top, the front swinger. But then it's speed, isn't it? England are on top. It's a really good decision. She sells the dummy there. I think it's Calafui who buys it, and it's a great finish by Zoe Aldcroft there. But speed of England in behind, and they capitalised on that.
Well, England will be very pleased at that 10 minutes because they did look like they might concede. And so, effectively a 14-point swing now to go down there and score 7.
Sheer determination there by Zoe Aldcroft. 63 caps today. And as I said, she has had a long season. She has been working away so hard. Went straight from WXV into the PWR campaign. Played a semi-final, final, straight into the Six Nations.
Advantage, knock on. Regathered. Yeah. Your turnover is okay. No advantage coming from the knock on. Yeah. This player's
knock
legal.
On then
no
from
advantage,
England.
Knock on.
And France with the platform. And
Just
I think they are just deciding whether they are going to bring on a completely fresh front row. And we've had some fun in games.
1, 2, 3.
So I think both sides actually are going to change their front rows at exactly the same time. Now, Brian, this is fascinating for everyone in the stadium and even more fascinating for the referee.
Yes, just when she thought she'd got things sorted out between them, you're going to have 6 more cheats come on.
Is that the worst sight for a referee when you see one is changing, but oh no, and the other one's changing? Or is it okay, fine, I've got to kind of couple of lives here to get these 6 in order?
Okay, time is on.
They all guess anyway, so it's not easy. No, seriously, if they've not played in the front row, you are guessing because there are only 4 people in a scrum who know why it goes down. And that's both props from each side, and they'll never tell you the truth.
Good afternoon there for the England front row that started. What have the reserves got? But this French front row is looking pretty good. They've got an advantage on the first scrum. Arbet. Oh, still Arbet. Oh, that's wonderful individual brilliance by Arbet. Only 19 years old, and that is a moment to savour. 2 handoffs on 2 England players and a try.
Well, first of all, England getting beaten in the scrum. Sarah Byrne actually only managed to get inside her player too late, basically. She was moving backwards, and that, I'm sorry, that's just not good enough as a tackle.
It's not, and the other thing is, you think once France have thrown that miss pass, England have got numbers. They've got 3 defenders, so Meg Jones, Abby Dow, and Ellie Kildun, and Emma Singh, in that touchline. Something you don't really see Abby Dow fended off, and I think Arbe's done so well there. She made a really good tackle just in that previous passage of play when England had the ball, and then to finish like that, the upper body strength to be able to fend both of those girls.
Well, once again, it's a 10-point game. And it's worth saying, France have scored 4 tries now. England had only conceded 5 tries for the rest of the entire Six Nations. The first bonus point for tries that they've conceded as well. So France still have something here. They will not, England, run away with this. Bernardou. Mwembe.
Tackle!
Bourdon Sansus goes back, manages to find Arbez.
On now. Thank you.
Singh, little hitch kick. Lucy Packer on the field now for Natasha Hunt.
Okay, thank you.
Dow just tracking back inside, avoiding that near side line as Byrne knocks on the ball.
Slow ball.
And this is a French scrum, and this is going to be an absolutely enormous French scrum from what we saw last time.
Blue scrum.
Who normally backs Sarah Byrne to take that, but now she's got a more important job in the tight here.
Feet up. Okay.
On the last scrum, she got caught very square. You've got to be extremely powerful if you keep completely square and you keep your right shoulder back. If her right shoulder, the England number 3, well, not number 3, the England tight head, actually number 18 there, if she can get slightly inside the line of her opposite number, then all the shove goes over her shoulder.
Bind. Set!
Well, it's the beef against the buff, and that's on as even for now. That was the co-captain flying through there, Manauget. Bourdon Sansus, almost with that trademark little spin out the back. Arbe. Didn't actually pay for France 15s last year. Down on the floor goes Felayer. Have they got their tails up? Oh, they lose it forward. The big sister,
2 knock-ons
in the form of Manayo Felayer, goes forward, and we will scrum down again.
Okay,
well, they did lose that ball forward, but again, England in and around the breakdown, not making tackles.
They don't look comfortable and they don't look organised at all at the moment, England. France have definitely, this is definitely working for France here, like you say, just a bit loose there, takes her eye off the ball. It's a good shot, I think, Moena Tallinn. But this attack and tie, loads of lifts, that lady there, Bourdon Sansus, just jumping around. It's definitely causing England a lot of problems.
Or medics off. Okay.
Okay. It is scrum time. Now, a few things to keep an eye on now in this fixture, with France trucking along quite nicely there as Moena Tallinn gets that lovely bit of stoppage for her nose. So the things we're keeping an eye on is that in the 56 previous meetings between England and France, France have never scored more than 33 points. Converted try, and it's a record scoreline, even if they're still not in a winning position.
More space then.
The other thing on
as your hooker, if you need more space, let's go. Let's go.
In the last 56 times they've met,
as you need. Let's go.
They've never gone over 33 points.
I've got someone
they haven't, but the other thing is they've sometimes never been in the game at this point either. And I think for France, the last 14 games have been won by England of those 56. It is a mentality issue. We've never said France don't have the players to be able to do it, but almost to beat themselves. And today they are in a game in 10 points.
Bind! Set!
Well, the crowd trying to push England on. 37,573 packed in. It's not a record. And at the moment, England need every one of them.
Standing up.
Well, Sarah Byrne answering the questions that I and the French were asking of her, because she got her right-hand side of the scrum going. Penalty as a result.
Okay. Yep.
There you can see.
Just stand in front of her. Time off. 10, sub. 10, sub. These. Just a sec.
More changes here then for France. They're taking off Carla Arbez, their fly half, and they're bringing on Lina Kewa.
Time on. No contest.
Lina Kewa, a very good kicker in her own right. Played a lot of the last Six Nations as we see Hurd go forward. Packer, Ward. Packer appealing there, thought she was going to get something.
Leave it now, leave it, 18.
Packer popped off ball, this time calm and waiting is Clifford. Jones.
No. Leave it.
Byrne. Fayanati. Almost plays France at their own game there by just straightening, going true. Matthews, huge tackle going in on her.
Backwards.
Oh, we thought that was going to be away to Cocaine, who would have been through. But England still have possession. They're looking for a 7th try right now. Harrison. Back once again to Byrne. Packer, Talling. Spun out. Still going forward through Clifford, who's got a couple of tries already in this Six Nations campaign. Fayanati. England had numbers on that far side. Did they exploit it quick enough? It's all about the forwards. They want it. Aldcroft. Oh, you could just see her eyes there. Anger as she approached the line. Not to be. Round the corner again. Still England ball. Is it down?
Short, thank you.
They go again.
Oh, short. It's her own player. Leave it. Leave the ball.
Spun out. Harrison. Big pass out wide to Dow. The French defence goes to sleep. Abby Dow goes over. And the crowd have a good dance.
Well, great recognition of where the space was and good execution. Off the left hand and a looping pass. Not easy, but delivered well.
That pass has been France's downfall today, hasn't it? It's gone over the wingers' heads. In that instance, there's not a winger out there. They've got really narrow. It's an easy run in. So Zoe Harrison's distribution there, you know, it's a good identification. You had Sarah Byrne nice and tight to that breakdown. Looked like she's going to get the carry. 3 forward, stay with it. It opens the space for Zoe Harrison to throw the big pass.
And we're both in a good position. My AR is in a good position.
Not to be there for Zoe Harrison. But England now with 7 tries on the board. At what point, Brian, do we think England are going to be really comfortable with this scoreline? Because France do keep edging back every so often.
Well, they need the test, and they should never feel comfortable. What they've got to do is deal with what comes and then pull away. But for the contest to remain live, you want France to come back at England in the way they did in the first half.
Well, we know that France left it late against Italy.
Backwards.
They tend to be good in the last 20 minutes of matches, but England tend to be quite good as well. You need a steamroller in your garden. Abby Dow is available.
Play on.
Oh, nice steal there by Rose Benadou. Better from France, attacking at the right end of the field, but Vernier loses it forward there. Gabrielle Vernier. She's one of the few players out there, a 2018 Grand Slam winner who can remember the glory days. Frustration. You remember those days as well, don't you, Katie Daly-McLean?
Yes, I do. Thank you for that. Look, it's unlike her. It's out of character. Meg Jones has done a really good job of tackling there. And I think she's just trying to force the offload, isn't she? She's trying to get her hands free. She wants to keep that ball alive. But these moments for me are going to be huge for France. You know, they need to keep a hold of the ball. They need to build into the game because they need to score next.
Okay, time on.
Well, they're not giving away too much there, the French coaching staff, as Axel Berthemieux comes back onto the field. Charlotte Escudero goes and takes the seat at the end of her Six Nations campaign.
Come up. What's the problem? Time on. You go down, you let me deal with it, okay? You go down, no, don't waste time, or it's a free kick. Okay, time is off until we get reset.
Okay, well, a little bit of a warning there to France.
Also, it's their own time they're wasting right now. You know what I mean? Okay. Get bound up, and I'll put time on.
I think Maggie Cogger wants them to get on with it. And she's saying it as nicely and sternly as she can.
Crouch! Bind!
So a reminder that England haven't actually conceded a score in the last 20 minutes of any of their Six Nations fixtures. So a little bit of pride at stake as well. Huge push there by France, but England hold. Jones.
Wait here, Nine. Thank you.
Her boot sends it down the field. Goes back inside of play for Bourgeois to gather.
Come back!
Couldn't get a boot to that one, could Packer. Harrison is there. Finds Dow. Still Dow. She manages to always get past someone. Clifford. Cocaine. Ward, Talling.
No, off feet!
Hurd. Jones on the dummy run. Harrison was well marked there by Vernier.
Leave it, off feet!
Ward had to take that contact. Little that the Bristol second row could do. Talling. Sale Lock enjoying her start. Here comes Matthews, nominated a couple of times now for World Player of the Year. Never quite got the gong. Singh. Aldcroft. Huge tackle coming in there by Champon. Packer, she's trying to find the space.
Strip and backwards.
And here we come through France. It's Ménager tiptoeing down that far side, but the flag goes up. Frustration there for the France co-captain.
Yeah. Time off. Enough. Sub.
Zoe Harrison will be frustrated with that. That lady Vernier has made it her mission to make it difficult for Zoe Harrison the last couple of minutes, hasn't she? Came hard out the line, then it's a good strap. But again, it's just so French, isn't it? Something good, generally followed at the moment by something
12
unnecessary.
And 4, sub. 12 and 4.
Changes then for France. Bourdon Sansus off the field of play. On comes Chambon. There's also going to be changes for England as well. We can see Rosie Gallagher coming onto the field. Also Holly Aitchison. And it looks like Zoe Harrison will probably stay at 10 with Holly Aitchison moving into 12. As they are enjoying themselves here at HQ. Such a big crowd packed in here today. The official attendance today is 37,573.
Okay, time is on.
You can see in the crowd there a few red cowboy hats. They are actually now selling them in the Allianz shop. That's how popular the cowboy theme is now. I'm going to buy one for Katie Daly-McLean later. You will see her on the streets of Twickenham with it, if you are going out. I might be lying, we'll see.
No one there.
Which bit?
Brian's going to get one as well, don't worry.
You.
No, I'm not.
Packer. Cocaine.
Sorry.
Packer again. Aitchison there with the distribution. Aitchison, nice little grubber through. Dow is chasing. Someone needs to put a name on it. It bobbles out in the end.
Well, in the end, it turned out all right for France. Could easily have gone the other way. Could have been a tackle, a couple of metres out. Beautiful rolling ball, very difficult to defend. You're willing it to go out, not knowing if it will. Shall I drop on it, shan't I?
2 meters from me.
Well, Elisa Riffenau will be putting this ball in to the lineup for the first time. She's playing at Grenoble now. She did have a season with Ealing Trailfinders when she was at Brunel University.
No, backwards. Tackle now, let it come. Okay, we're gonna play on. I didn't see that as a real maul. Wait here.
Hacked down the field then by France.
Thank you.
Dow to Singh. Singh manages to find Rowland. She puts a bit of gas on the ball as Aitchison tries to keep that one alive. Rowland. The replacements with a bit of dog work. Galligan back inside. Was that forward? Yes, it was. The TMO just comes in there. Good to see Rosie Galligan on the field, actually. Apparently, she was a bit touch and go to actually play today. She's got a bit of a cut on her knee, apparently, in training this week. The cut came courtesy of her captain, Zoe Allcroft.
I think people at home will be like, oh, just a cut on the knee, but sometimes if it's a bit deep and it's in a really awkward place, they can be really nasty.
There you go, there are the hats.
The one before the try down.
Kid, I just wonder about there. France put the ball back 20 metres, then kick. Can't contest it. Wouldn't it not be better to box and get someone under the ball?
100%, but neither team today we've seen do a lot of box kicking at all. We know Natasha Hunt can, we know Lucy Packer can, we definitely know Pauline Bodun-Santos can as well, and we just haven't seen it. They've gone back to their primary kicker, and like you say, lost 20 metres before the ball's even moved.
Down the line they come there. We saw Lina Kewa, who's now directing traffic for France. And here is this 19-year-old live wire in Arbey. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure she went into touch there.
White line out.
But she's got a bright future ahead of her. She previously played her rugby down at Cast, but has really come on since that move to Toulouse.
I saw.
Okay, ball comes down then for England. Spun out in the end as Dow's well off her wing.
Leave it now, leave it. Ruck.
Well, back once again. The French defenders alive to everything that England are throwing at them. Cocaine, Harrison, Aitchison, Meg Jones. And
back and then off the foot.
Abby Dow having to tidy things up there.
Off the foot.
Ward. Rose Bernardou is certainly getting around a lot since she's come onto the field, the French tight head. Cocaine. Missed the last match against Leicester, had a bit of a pec injury, but has recovered well.
Wait here, wait.
High ball then from Harrison.
Okay.
But England offside. And off we go. Lina Kewa is not hanging around. Vernier with a little dummy. Vernier still going, popped off again. Strong stuff from the replacement scrum half as well in Chambon. Round the corner this time. Bertamieux, still French ball, stringing it together. Fellaeux.
Advantage.
Oh, they've lost it forward. Clearance by Meg Jones. All the effort, all the bluster from France. I mean, they've got a nice line out here, but just that final execution evading them again.
Well, great shame there because Chambon, marvellous piece of dexterity to even keep that ball alive.
Here's the middle.
There we are, going down, having tripped over someone and managing to cling on.
Time is off.
The thing that I don't understand for France, if you're a player playing in this and you keep doing that, it is so frustrating for one of their senior players, and obviously it's the way they want to play, but surely somebody's saying, look, if we're in the 22, we have to keep a hold of the ball here. If we want to score, we've got to go through the phases.
Is she in?
We've done it in the first half.
Is she coming into the lineup?
Don't need to be loose with it.
Okay. Manai, we can't have people running in that late. It's not fair to them. Next time it's a free kick. Time on.
France being a little bit naughty, getting a telling off.
Advantage.
Ball's been knocked on by England. And so France will get the scrum there.
It's just a scrum. It's just a scrum.
If you're wondering what the referee was saying to France there, when you
just
go
on the
into a
15.
line out, you have to have equal numbers, and France flew a player back in there, so they had the extra woman against England. So that's what they were being told they couldn't do. Now look at the width that England have put on this game to try and stretch France there. The passes, more than double. Over 10 metres. Look at that, the comparison between the two. 83 for England, 25 for France. And even the over 10 metres as well. I mean, France can't compete.
They're the ones as well that have broken France for me today. Them long passes, the Meg Jones, Zoe Harrison, the ones that have been thrown over that last defender because France have been narrow into space and allowed people like Claudia McDonald, Abby Dow to capitalise on them.
Chambon gets the ball in. France are going to do something in this match. They're going to have to do it quickly. Felleur. Oh, could she have got that pass away?
Tackle, release.
Back it goes once again. Foul, Raclot. Chambon. Bernardou. Remember, England have not conceded in this period so far in the Six Nations. Driving forward was Arbet. Still French ball. They need to complete. Spun out ball, it goes wide. Have England got time to scramble? Not to be on that occasion, they try and go, oh! They get it down through Bourgeois. But they've got to move quickly. England concede for the first time in the last 20 of a Six Nations fixture in 25.
What's one alternative interpretation on those width of pass figures I would put, and this is where stats and reading them can be difficult and you can misinterpret them. One of the reasons England have outpassed France in terms of width is France have chosen to drive straight, narrow, where England have not been secure around the breakdown, and consequently their passes have been of 2, 3, 4, 5 yards, but nevertheless have been much more effective in that sense, as indeed they were again there.
Well, it's back within 10 again. Can it get closer?
What a kick.
Flags go up. What a kick by Morgan Bourgeois. It's an 8-point game, but more importantly, France have never scored this many points against England in their history ever. Game on, 9 minutes to play.
It's what we wanted. We wanted again. We want England to be pushed. It's a fantastic kick from the touchline. We know this lady can kick. We also know she can kick penalties as well. So this moment now from France is huge. They have to receive this kick off. They have to be clinical in their exit, and then they have to go and build pressure.
Reminder that Morgan Bourgeois, only 22 years old, just her 13th cap, and she is slotting these conversions from everywhere.
Inside, wait here.
Clearance comes from Kewa. Toulouse fly half, finds Singh. Have England got a response? Scoreline hasn't been this close now for well over 40 minutes. Harrison. Straight over top there from France. Was that a good steal? Yes. Mwembe. She's not going to hang around though. Taken by Chambon.
Backwards. Should we gather?
They're happy it's backwards, and here come France down the wing. It's Ménager. Can she get it away to Grise? It's all too rushed and harried. Ball goes out. England under pressure. Line out.
Get the ball off the field.
This is a great tackle by Emma Singh there. She does what she does so well. She bides her time. She doesn't bite in. She forces Ménager to get into that outside, to take her on, and then she makes a very, very good try-saving tackle there. Really good defence by Emma Singh.
Ball went tight towards the front. It was all Croft. There's a penalty advantage as well for France coming across the line in the line-out. And the penalty does come.
19.
The warning goes against Chiara Zago, who was in the air competing there.
Thank you. Okay. You need to stay. Don't
Well, you just saw there, it was Zago there who was just leaning across as England came down with the ball. And England have gone for short numbers in this lineup. Haven't lost one so far in this fixture. Flying on to that, going forward. England still with the ball. Clifford.
Wait here.
Harrison. Confusion with the ball there. It did go forward from a French hand, though, as they reset that one.
Well, England will be very pleased that they've got the 8-point lead. So they are converted try and some form of score in front because they are being pushed by France.
Well, there you go. It was Kelly Arbe there. Slightly put off by the arrival of Dow. John Mitchell not looking too stressed there, the England head coach. Considering that France still have a shot at this if they score next. France have had a really interesting build-up towards this Six Nations. They didn't have the best WXV campaign. They ended up finishing 5th. They conceded 7 tries to both New Zealand and Canada.
Yeah, agreed. Stay off her arm. You keep your head down, okay? Let's go. I'll bind up and then I'll put the time on. Time is off.
Certainly the nation in the Six Nations that has enough participation, that has the lead to try and compete with England. And they're showing today that if they can just stay on it, they have a chance.
Time is on. Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Well, that is a low scrum from England to get that one away. Meg Jones, Singh, out wide. Hanging out there is Helena Rowland, the Loughborough Lightning player. Started that opening game against Italy at fly half. Now showing how useful she can be. Dummy comes in by Aitchison. Crossfield kick comes from Harrison. Bounce of the ball. Who touched it last?
Lauren? Lost forward into touch. Okay.
Near side touch, happy that's going to be an England put-in.
Line out.
With a cross kick, normally, Katie, you want it to be 85% in your favour and not one. Either side of a bounce could have seen France the length of the pitch.
Over the 15.
Definitely one that makes everybody a bit nervous there.
Long pass out the back there to Ward.
That's once.
Been to a couple of Rugby World Cups already. Abby Ward, 2017, 22. No doubt eyeing up a 3rd in the summer. That's where thoughts will be heading in approximately 4 minutes and 10 seconds time as the kick through comes. Can they get on the end of it? Jones with the tackle. France under huge pressure, 5 metres from their own line. If England score now, it'll all be over.
No, leave it!
Aldcroft goes over the top. Still French ball, but they're at the wrong end of the field and they're running out of time. Bernardo again.
Now, leave it. Use it!
She had an injury last year that kept her out of the Six Nations. She's back and she's firing now. Waiting calmly underneath it. Bristol's Aitchison. Big moment here.
Deliberate.
Okay, I have it that she's knocked it backwards.
Okay, you actually have it going backwards.
Correct, from backwards.
And then has it gone into touch?
Correct.
Okay, so you actually don't have it going forward. Okay, so I'll explain it. So she has knocked it, but it's actually gone backwards. It then goes into touch though, so it is your lineup. She's knocked it backwards, it goes into touch, so it's white ball. Just here?
I don't know what the rugby language is or French for.
Just come this
got
way
away
for me.
with
Luke,
one.
come this way, please. We're inside.
So what do we
need to be
think?
inside.
She definitely, I think, got away with one.
Time off, time off. Sorry. We just want to make sure we get the Okay, yeah, perfect. Yep, all good.
Yeah, it did indeed
Time
go
on.
backwards. It certainly didn't look like it from here, but they're right.
Right then. England
That's
with
fine.
the drive.
Her outside arm is bound. That's fine. Her
An
outside arm is
absolute traffic jam of bodies
Leave the 9.
flying forward. And then it's the turn of the backs. Aitchison, oh, so dainty with the step. Harrison, spun out, Singh. Huge tackle by Grise. Spat out ball.
Tackle! Take a step, thank you.
Grenobble's Chambon needs to get this one away.
Still a knock-on advantage.
Still in a really tricky spot here, France. England absolutely chomping at the bit to get the ball back.
Advantage over.
Chambon eventually gets it away.
Might be the last knockings of the game. The difference in that pattern of play from England in the first half, England had carved enough ground and gone forward enough before they went wide. That time they were more static. They were actually outnumbered when they went left, and when it broke down, they couldn't retain the ball. That's the difference between first half and second half.
I will say this very quietly. England haven't had a yellow card this entire Six Nations. Their discipline has been impeccable. It was a big criticism of them in their last campaign. France 8 points adrift. And that means things are looking increasingly unlikely for them, even if they score next. Things can happen in sport.
No, thank you.
But this would be magical if they pull it off. Chambon finds more forwards. Down the line, Kewa looks up, Vernier is there, Grise, she's off again, she's been doing this all fixture. Oh, she's still going! Joanna Grise gives France a shot at the Six Nations title. They're going to have to move fast. There's a conversion to come. That would make it a one-point game, but France need the restart.
They really do. Speechless, to be honest. Emma Singh goes high. I mean, she's beaten, but she falls. And this is a great finish. You know, Lucy Packer, Helena Rollins are much better defenders, but that's not taking anything away from Grise there. She had a lot to do to finish. Nice little step on that right foot. And it's a really well-worked try from France. Big, big kick.
Bourgeois has not missed a kick today. Hold your breath.
Yep.
Absolutely nailed it. What a grandstand finish. England still in a huddle at the moment under the posts. France are back in this. And at the moment, Joanna Grise is playing rugby of dreams.
No, Katie, do you kick long and make them run from 100 metres? Or do you try and contest?
100%, you kick long, you pin them in the corner, and then you defend for your lives. Because what we know about France is they are prone to an error. So you go and squeeze them, you stay connected, you don't give away any cheap penalties, but you have to kick long here.
Zoe, last play.
Well, they'll get one chance, France.
Who's going to hold their nerve? Massive kickoff. Absolutely huge. Goes deep then from Harrison. France can't make a mistake. Is that backwards from Kewa? It's been knocked on by Kewa. England win the Grand Slam. A 4th Grand Slam in a row. A 7th title in a row. Their domination continues, but France came to play. France cannot believe it.
Okay, sorry, your face just gave me a bit of a fright.
What a fixture. What a comeback by France. They always leave it late, but this time it was just against a side that knows how to finish a job. England were finally rattled in this Six Nations. France can take some pride in that, but they can't take a trophy. John Mitchell hasn't batted an eyelid throughout this entire match. He has kept his poker face. Surely he was tense at some moments. celebrations around Twickenham, and just at the bottom of your screen you can see Sarah Hunter, the England defence coach, with her little daughter Olivia watching on in the crowd as she completes her maternity leave, expected to be back for the World Cup campaign in the coaching box. Zoe Allcroft there congratulating both sides. She is the player of the match in the Six Nations, and she has been an absolute workhorse today. Well, we're waiting for both sides to line up still, work their way through. And there we go, they're bringing out all the cowboy hats onto the team now. It was so tense, that ending. And there we go, full time at Twickenham. England 43, France 42. Well, the crowd are going to stay here because there's still a trophy lift to come. Brian Moore watching alongside me. What a tense finish.
Yes, and an unfortunate end to the game. You know, with France simply knocking the ball on. It wasn't the way I'm sure that they wanted, and well, in fact we wanted the game to end, given that they'd given so much to that and stayed in the game with moments of wonderful handling and dexterity. England on balance, look, it is about winning, and they got over the line. The periods of play in the first half that they did well, they did very well. They differentiated between taking the ball forward, releasing it when they were going forward, and then exploiting the things out wide. What they didn't do consistently throughout the game, unfortunately, they didn't defend well enough in and around the fringes of the breakdown, and that's where France and their offloading game came to play. And whilst it was high risk, it very nearly paid off, and it was very exciting.
It was very exciting, wasn't it? Well, England are going to have a bit of a debrief here because, of course, they will all go off on their holidays very shortly. They'll have a big break. I think they get around a month off. And then the next time they'll all be together will be for their warm-up camp for the World Cup. What an opening campaign as captain for Zoe Allcroft. Marshalling, instructing her troops. We're waiting to hear from her, but of course she is the skipper. And there you can see Emily Scarrett on your screen. One of many players who is hoping to get one of those magical World Cup tickets.
What they might well ask themselves is this: if they were not playing a team that made as many errors as France, if they had played New Zealand, would they have got away with that? And that's the question that they'll go away and ponder. That's the one they've got to solve.
Right, let's head down to pitch side very shortly, because we are going to be hearing from everyone who's been involved in this fixtures. We've got captains, we'll have coaches, there's going to be a trophy lift. But first of all, let's hear from the England skipper, Zoe Allcroft, who's with Sonia.
And the England skipper is also the player of the match. You're cleaning up the silverware here, Zoe Allcroft. I wonder, first of all, it's a 7th straight Six Nations title. It's a 4th Grand Slam on the spin, which is history for England. How proud are you right now?
I am honestly so proud from all the girls' effort today, all the girls in the week that helped us prepare. Just so proud of the whole squad effort, and I think we really battled it out today. Credit to France, they absolutely came at us, the speed that they were playing at. But yeah, credit to the girls for hanging on for that last 80.
I just wonder what on earth, as captain, you were saying to your team, what you were thinking when Joanna Grise scores at the death, Morgan Bourgeois converts it. It's a 1-point game.
Just giving clear direction. Our next job is absolutely vital, and everyone just buying into that one thing that we really want to go after. That's the most clear thing that you can do in those moments.
Now, Zoe, if that was a dress rehearsal for a possible Rugby World Cup final here on September the 27th, what did England learn from this?
I think just when we are building that pressure, we need to keep our foot on the throttle, and then just keep on going and going, and the pressure is the main thing.
How do you celebrate later?
I think a couple of drinks, obviously, get everyone in the change room, but yeah, we will enjoy tonight.
I'm sure you will. Many, many congratulations to you, Zoe.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What a test match that turned out to be. Congratulations to England, a 7th consecutive title and the Grand Slam, but France definitely tried to spoil that party in the second half. And you can see there then the final table. Well, actually it's not, is it? Because of the Pope's funeral, Italy and Wales will play tomorrow. So those places lower down in the table still to be decided. But England definitely champions. And 28 points to France's 21 reflects the fact they get an extra 3 points because of a Grand Slam. Well, that was some second half. 21-12. France won the second half, Simon. It looked, when England got that first try in the half, you thought, OK, now they're going to really put their foot on the pedal, and this is England's. But France were not going to lie down.
Yeah, it was a very similar tale to 2 years ago, wasn't it? They gave it everything they had, and and they got some confidence, and they got a bit of fluidity in the play, and they're always capable of that. And yeah, what a game!
Oh, you have little faith. Telling me earlier on before this match that France are not getting close to England. Changed your mind?
Oh my goodness! At one point there, I didn't want to look. If I'm genuinely honest, like, fair play to France. The game needed that. The Six Nations needed that finish. And they delivered, didn't they? A bit too close for me, though.
It was a proper test match. As you touched on, we needed that jeopardy. And I have to say, England, in a way, should be proud of that. They had to dig deep to get that win. And look, they entertained 37,000 people in the stadium. But it was a tough match, and you have to grind it out, because that's what you want before a World Cup. Listen, back in 2014, before the Rugby World Cup, we lost our Six Nations. And if anything, that definitely had a big impact on how we approached it. But for this England side, they are learning how to win in different ways.
I just wonder, though, for John Mitchell, does it actually not answer questions, but create more questions?
I don't know, it's an interesting one. I think you look at some performances there, and it's hard, isn't it? Because we don't see this happen to England that often. Most teams, you think, oh, look, we know what these girls are like under pressure. Today was different. Like, you'll go back and you'll look at that in very different detail to potentially what he looks at other games, wouldn't he?
Can you imagine trying to review that game? I'll tell you something, I'm glad I don't coach anymore. Like, he'll be sitting down having lots of cups of tea.
Simon, you are here to review it with us, though. So let's have a little look, shall we, at the French comeback before we speak to John Mitchell, because that is what got the crowd here biting their nails on the edge of their seats. Some French brilliance, Katie.
Yeah, it was. We've seen this big pass, haven't we? England did it so well. Again, it's just that little weight. It gets them in behind. And then here again, it's a bit of French look, isn't it? Do you force that offload? You've probably got your head in your hands there, Simon, but it comes off in the score.
Absolutely. And I just say, the edge defenders had an absolute torrid time all day. The wingers on both sides were handing opportunities. And to be fair, the flip side is some great attacking play by the edge players.
Grisette, absolutely amazing here. This is what France do in the last 20 minutes. They score lots of tries because they back themselves, and I love the coach's reaction here. But England's defence just got so narrow. But this is what upsets me a little bit with the French play. They do something absolutely amazing, and then they make an error at the end, especially on that 80th minute. I'm not saying they could have come back into the game, but it just highlights the fact that they've got to build their success and not let the errors come in.
Just the ultimate composure moment.
Yeah.
And they did exactly what they do.
Yeah, and they had so many other opportunities, didn't they, where they could have controlled the game a little bit. And when they make those mistakes, for France, the lesson to learn, presumably, is how you respond. Because Maggie and I were sat next to each other saying they're all over the place when they make a mistake. They kind of lose their composure very quickly.
They do, and I think, it'll be a bit of growth for them, isn't it? This went really well. Vernier, I thought, was brilliant. She took the ball on, they're getting behind, but then it just gets a little bit loose. It's a great take, but then, like you say, they don't know what comes next. They get isolated, and then we get an error. And I think for France, these are going to be the moments that they look back on and they rue, aren't they? Because it cost them the game.
Yeah.
I was just saying, for me, it's their red zone conversions. So, look, they're really good. And Simon, you've highlighted about these offloads. But when they get into the red zone, so the 22, it's just they're unable to be clinical. And look, you've got to take your hats off to England's defence. I mean, some of the try-saving tackles there. Emma Singh was brilliant. Yeah. There's so many players that made a big difference. But Bourgeois, she was amazing. I mean, her kicking, I have to say, getting it from the touchline was
we'll
impressive.
get into it in a bit more detail when we've seen the presentation. But her kicking contrasted to Harrison's kicking today, because if it wasn't pretty much in front of the post, she wasn't getting it today.
No, and that's out of character. I think we've seen Zoe Harrison kick extremely well. It's interesting, isn't it? Me and you talked about this, Simon, how much John Mitchell has a say on that. Look, Emma Singh can kick a ball. If your 10's not on it, do you think about giving the nod and saying, because Zoe is the kind of player that's not going to give it up, and I think that's the right thing for a 10. But like you say, France kicked extremely well, and it gave us a 1-point game.
Well, the fine margins, and you know, those missed kicks, as we know, for England counted very much in the last World Cup, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and you want games with fine margins, don't you? And that's where you've got to have your kickers, you're executing well, and you've got to make good decisions, brave decisions about who's going to kick the ball.
But Kate, who makes that call? Do you decide? You say,
No.
no, I've got to pass it on, or do you really rely on the coach to feed that message in?
I'm not going to make eye contact with Simon Middleton there, but look, as a player, you shouldn't be making that decision. I think your coach has to come over the top, because if not, you get to a point where you're second-guessing yourself, and that's the last thing you want as a goal kicker.
Well, England on their way up, collecting their medals, and they will lift that trophy. Zoe Aldcroft will lead the way in terms of lifting. I'm sure every single player will get their fingers on that trophy tonight, because in the end it was hard fought. It looked like they'd made light work of this tournament. 29 points conceded before today, 42 points conceded today.
Yeah, well, we talked up how good England's defence was, didn't I? And right, I put the kiss of death on that. I mean, that game was a defence coach's nightmare.
Yeah, Sarah Hunter might have her head in her hands. I think it's just coming back into that.
But it is an amazing feeling when you win a Grand Slam in your own, you know, stadium in front of this amazing crowd, and you've worked really hard to achieve that. And look, every player here should really put their hats off and say, well done. McDonald, I mean, bless her, she had that injury, and you know, hopefully it's not going to affect her in regards to World Cup selection. But this England team should be really proud of themselves. They've had lots of rotation, and they've really come through, and I think they've earned the right to win this Grand Slam.
There'll be enormous relief, I imagine, up there on that podium, and sometimes that makes it taste all the sweeter, doesn't it? So to talk us through the presentation, let's hand you back to Brian and Sarah.
Well, the England players making their way up. There goes Emma Singh, the pressure on her young shoulders, just 24 years old today, coming in for Ellie Kildun with that hamstring. And now Amy Cocaine back from injury as well. We'll also have all of the substitutes and those who didn't play ultimately in this fixture today, who are part of the wider squad. And we'll speak about this a lot, Brian. There'll be so much chat about World Cups to come, but for this moment in this Six Nations, this England side, they've now beaten France 15 times on the bounce. France just can't get past them.
They can't, and when you're talking, you know, about standards, don't underestimate the difficulty in keeping going when you are firm favourites of a high order, because then the psychological motivation becomes completely different. You've got to set your own standards, and that is quite difficult sometimes. And when things start to go well, as indeed they did in the first half, England get away, think they're comfortable, probably don't actually take the foot off the gas, you know, consciously. But then when things start to go wrong and the defence starts to weaken, then they have problems.
Well, all the crowd have stayed inside the stadium for this moment as the final members of the squad who couldn't take part today, including World Player of the Year, Ellie Kildun, as she hides behind Kelsey Clifford there. Getting a bit of a ride, but here comes Zoe Aldcroft. This is her second trophy of 2025 after she lifted the PWR title with Gloucester Hartbury. Will it be 3 later this year? Oh. It's all right, Marley Packer will tell her how it's done. Handling error there for Aldcroft as she makes her way to the front. All right then, here we go. England are the 2025 Women's Six Nations Grand Slam champions. This Red Roses machine continues to produce at the highest level. They will celebrate tonight, but that was a real contest they were in against France. Just a 1-point game and a moment they will savour. Will there be more this year? That's the question. Are they done? They'll say not yet.
Well, there you see Meg and Zoe lift the trophy. The cowboy hats have come out as well. Katie Daly-McLean, you can see there John Mitchell looking, as he always does, completely kind of unemotional in this absolute cauldron of emotion. He's obviously already thinking about what you said before, Simon, how he analyses that performance, but he will enjoy this tonight and take a moment. There's still 4 months to go to the World Cup.
Look, I really hope so. I'm thinking it must be really hard. I mean, he is enjoying it. We're seeing him on the street. It must be hard, because there'll be elements, surely, as a coach, where you're a bit frustrated and a little bit disappointed you got to one score. But I think you've got to take his hats off. These girls have performed so well. England are so dominant, but we got a game, didn't we?
We absolutely did. And England got a game. They will find out a lot about themselves individually and as a collective, Maggie.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's some players today that have really had to step up, but not just today, throughout the tournament. You know, there's a lot of selection headaches, in particular in that back row between the 2 number 10s, the back 3 as well. And there's some players who've really earned their spot, I would say. You know, Abby Dow's been really good. Kildan naturally, obviously injured. But there's some players who are still having to work hard to earn the right to get on that plane. Not get on the plane, but to play at home. I'm thinking of another tour.
Sunderland is quite far from here, but I'd probably be in a coach. The crowd enjoying this moment. And this is what's great about this Twickenham crowd. I'd say of the 37,000, about 35,000 are still here.
Yeah, I mean, this is reward for all the hard work they've put in, because the game wasn't the game that England wanted to play today. There's no doubt about it. But they've worked so hard.
Well, there's one thing we can guarantee. In the middle of that throng somewhere will be Sonia McLaughlin.
The ticker tape alongside Sarah Byrne and Meg Jones. Many, I love the hats. These are fabulous. Many congratulations to you both. I just wondered, just tell me what it was like up there, Sarah, raising the Six Nations trophy for the 7th time in a row.
It's an amazing feeling. It's different every single time, but cannot thank the crowd enough. They make it so special for us, and just this amazing group of girls who work so hard every day to come out with those awards.
You do work hard, you lot. How much does this mean to you?
Yeah, massive. I think that's a test match, isn't it? I think both all going at each other, full 80 minutes. I hope it was a good spectacle for the fans. Yeah, we work hard and it's just nice to get the reward, for sure.
Was it a little bit harder than you thought it might be?
No, France are an incredible team. They are phenomenal all tournament. They are every year. And it really came down to the last bite, which is amazing for us, and it's what viewers want to watch and it's how we want to play.
It certainly is. Look, if that, Meg, was a dress rehearsal for a possible World Cup final back here on September the 27th, what did you learn from that? What did you take from it?
Yeah, look, we're going to enjoy tonight. I think that's the biggest one. We've had a huge couple of weeks. Yeah, we're just going to enjoy each other's company. That'll come later on down the line and we'll solve that problem when it comes. But for now, we're just going to be here.
OK, put the hats back on. Come on, enjoy. Lasso. I know Ellie's not here, but she...
Yeah!
Yay, love it. Thank you.
Kildan will be very proud of how many cowboy hats there are here. John Mitchell's just about to join us. Congratulations, John. Well, that was a bit nervy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little bit, but defence wins titles, I think, and that wasn't really great today from us in terms of defence, but I thought our start was pretty good.
Yeah, you've only conceded 29 points before today, 42 points, a 1-point game. We said pre-match we wanted to see England pushed. Perhaps not quite as much for these guys as they were in the end, but for you, do you learn more from a performance like that?
They got us through the middle, which we had planned for, but I don't think we delivered it, and then I just readjusted it at half-time, and I think we got some better reward in the second half. But yeah, they made too many yards through their pick and go.
Well, they started working the edges a bit more, didn't they, in the second half?
And, I thought we were poor in edge defence, to be honest.
Has it given you some questions that perhaps you didn't think you were going to have to answer?
Hey, I'd rather get this kind of feedback in this kind of environment any day of the week. So we got it done. We completed a goal. Yeah, like it hasn't been done in the modern era. 4 Grand Slams, and obviously Simon's contributed a lot to that as well. But we went after this goal, and now we can have a bit of a celebration and get ready for a World Cup.
Half-time, John. What was the message at half-time?
If we wanted to be undisputed, we need to sort out France's what we call an X-carry, and I basically gave them some solutions to that. And then the rest of the time is just stick to our game plan in the last 2 zones of the field, because we're going okay there, but we're just giving them energy. As you know, the French, when they get some success, they get energy and they get momentum. You know, like I always said to the girls last night that we're going to have to win this game 3 or 4 times. And that certainly played out.
Well, John, I'd love to know, like, how do you debrief a game like this? Because you've ended the season, yes, on a high, but at the same time, you're now building up to a big tournament. And they're going to be off for a month now. So how do you debrief it? How do you work with the players to build for this?
We'll debrief this quite seriously in our first camp. Every camp that we come into in the first camp, we sort of diagnose it and involve the players in the process so that we can get learning to evolve our game. We're pretty good at that.
Thank you so much, John. We're going to let you go and enjoy the night. And I know Maggie wants you to debrief already, but you have a few beers.
I want John to wear it. John, you've got to wear it.
Take care. Lovely to see you.
Oh, good man.
Hannah Bottom is here. We're going to have a quick word with Hannah before we leave you tonight. Hannah, congratulations. There you go. Congratulations. That was very squeaky bum time at the end there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that at the end, I must admit. I'm just glad they did it with less than 30 seconds to go, because otherwise that would have been...
Is it good, though, to be pushed in this environment, in this stadium, because you're going to be pushed in the World Cup?
Yeah, 100%. And we have to just believe in ourselves when it comes to those moments that we're good enough to be able to produce what we need to produce, and we did. So, yeah, we obviously built up enough of a score in the end, but, yeah, definitely some things to work on.
Did you feel under pressure today? Is this the first time where you've actually thought, ooh, we could be in a game here?
I think it's difficult because you don't want to go into a game being like, oh, we could lose this.
Of course.
But yeah, definitely felt under pressure, but we knew they were going to put us under pressure at points. And they obviously came in and they did different things to what they've probably done in the last couple of games with the offloads, picking through the ruck. So we had to adapt to that really quickly, and they did catch us with that a couple of times. So
congratulations,
yeah,
and well done on all the turnovers, the many turnovers, the big performance as well. Guys, I know you want to, so you do that while I just take us off there. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck with your time off, and we'll see you a little bit later in the year, because England's Grand Slam closes the 2025 Women's Six Nations. But for all of us here, there's great excitement. This band will be getting back together in the autumn. The 22nd of August, England take on the USA in Sunderland for the start of the World Cup. They will be favourites, and we'll be covering every single minute for you on the BBC. Until then, congratulations, England. Job done.
One more time, got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free. One more time, this got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free. One more time, this got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free. One more time, this got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, yeah. One more time, this got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free. One more time, this got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free.